our good friend Tony, at least once a month, goes to the new Subaru dealership right there in North Johnson.
Oh, you're talking about Tony Munjet.
Yeah, and because he's got a WRX he loves.
Well, they're culture cars. Like that, Subi drivers are a little bit different than most people. Like they are into the car, they're into the culture, they're always like doing little things to modify them, make them better.
But he loves that brand new dealership so much because it's so nice.
State of the art. And I know that people just say that, but it's got like, you drive into the bay, it's got the lasers that check the tread of your tires.
It'll show you on the TV screen how much tread you have.
Cameras underneath so you can see what your, the problem is. Air conditioned repair bays. I mean, it's like being on a spaceship.
They've got the Subaru merchandise store inside.
Get the gear, get the hat, get a hoodie.
Yeah, I mean, when I was there for the grand opening, like the head of Subaru was there, and
you just went there for the shrimp cocktails.
Yeah,
right?
they did a good job. Plus, they did an awesome thing for Central Florida because the land that they put their dealership on, they bought all that land, basically cleaned it all up, refurbished the wetlands, donated the wetlands back to the Wetlands Florida
they're always
Conservation.
Doing stuff like that. It's kind of like the Share the Love event that they do every year, where they're just donating just buttloads of money to charities to help children and families. So they're always trying to do
great company.
Yes, they're selling cars, and yes, their cars have the amazing powertrain warranty. Yes, Sports Subaru doesn't have the dealer fee. We've told you guys this for years. But another thing, in the community, they do a lot of good. Like years ago, they gave so much money to the Yellow Brick Road Foundation.
They pick one every year.
Yeah, it's a good company.
Talk to Mike Stacks. He's our contact over there. Like I said, the brand new dealership on 1800 North John Young Parkway. Also on the Chevy side of things, Don Mealy Chevrolet in Claremont. J.C. Harrelson is our contact there. So if you're looking for a Chevy truck, I drive one, or that mid-engine Corvette, or anything Chevy-related, go talk to them, dmchevy.com. Those are our two car sponsors, and they will hook you up.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time.
A couple things. We got Spark STEM Fest coming up at Orlando Science Center.
I know what you're thinking. What's a Spark STEM Fest? Well, you can go out to the Orlando Science Center and you can learn about science.
Well, STEM stands for like science, technology. I don't know.
Education.
A, is that right, boss?
Why'd you go into it when you knew you didn't know it?
Okay.
God damn it, you do this every time.
I was spelling Spark. STEM is science, technology,
engineering,
empanadas, and mofongo.
Empanadas, math and engineering,
and mustard dipping sauce.
I figured it out. And they have an adult STEM night that's on the 18th, and you can have some alcohol and walk around the science center.
You know what makes STEM better? An ice cold beer.
Yeah.
It really does. It makes science a lot more fun.
All right, so we're talking about some people clowning me again on social media.
Well, it's become like a whole thing now, and I think you're leaning in. You're doing that. You're putting on high heels. You're dancing all around. You're acting like a clown.
True.
You're full Carrot Top mode. Like Carrot Top on Instagram, he's like lip syncing and swirling around because he has to have attention. I feel like you're becoming that person.
I don't want attention.
Starve for attention.
I don't want
attention.
Me.
You're putting on all the outfits. You're swirling around. I think you're literally steps away from becoming drunky again. I can feel it. I can feel it's like when Jordan came back after you're retired. I can feel like you need to get back in the game.
I just don't.
All of these contests with Cadillac. Pat, you did a push-up contest, and then or like pull-up. And then what else? He's challenging every
He could run more than 15 miles an hour.
Yeah, he challenged Tracy's son to run through the Science Center. You ran through the Science Center, had a race. So where is this coming from? You had a little midlife crisis here?
No.
Playing golf with Jimmy at Drive Shack.
And then at Drive Shack, he was like, who's stronger, Jimmy? Who can drive? It's a contest.
I'm just sitting here trying to do business, minding my own business, and then all of a sudden I see this picture of me on. It started.
I got it up right now. If you want to see it,
the Facebook page they started, the Tom Van Club.
Well, you mistakenly thought that this was like a place where people go. And then what do you think they're going to be like? Oh, look at his muscles. Oh, look at it. Oh, he's so handsome. Oh, we love Tom. You love Tom too. Hey, you want to go to Wing House? You think people do that? You think people go like, hey, man, you want to go to Buffalo Wild Wings and talk about Tom?
Well, they started the club, and then I got in there.
It was a place to secretly talk about our words.
Now I realize that. I thought they actually cared about the stories of my sons.
It's a group chat. Like kids do group chats, and then they chat about like we don't have any of those because we're older, but like young people, like if you don't like somebody or if you want to clown on somebody, you'll start a group chat.
Oh, I got a lot of group chats.
Yeah, and you just start clowning on people to other people. Well, this is their way of group chatting you. There was an article about Khloe Kardashian having a group chat about the whole family, and she's like telling people that Kim texts like a gem. Stuff like that. Mean? Oh, if you text like a gem, you're not using emojis, you're not quick enough. You write it all out.
Oh, that's what I did.
I know.
Oh, I'm a gem.
You're a gem. You're a gem.
Oh, me and Kim Kardashian have something in common.
Jim and Kim.
Yeah, Kim and Jim.
Kim Jong-un.
So... But now I realize the Tom Van Club has turned into just another form of bully.
It's a secret R-word chat-a-lot. It's a place you go where you can make fun of disabled people secretly. Yeah. It's a secret disabled...
I thought they cared about my stunts.
I'm going to call it what it is. It is a secret disabled hate club. That's what it is. It's a secret disabled hate club.
I would put pictures. I went to my old photo book. Up. Well, it started off where I'd go to like old photo albums of me like jumping stuff, and then
you're like an old man. You're like, here's me. This is me racing back in the day with Davey Allison back in the 500.
I told some nuggets of behind the scenes.
Stop calling them nuggets.
Is that what you call your fans? Tom Van Nuggets?
Yeah, the Nugs. He calls them the Nugs.
Wow.
I tell like, hey, look at this, and I tell some story I've never told before, and I thought they liked it, and they were just
no one likes it. No one's ever liked it. no one liked it.
Well, now I know.
You know what's funny is no one liked it when it was actually happening. It's a story now.
Well, I thought they liked it now.
No, when it was like this one, for instance, this La Spada's garbage.
This is when I saw it, and I was like, what is this? And then they're like, look,
what I found these? Why'd you say it like
that? They were like, look, I found on Reddit. And then
some of my favorite pictures in the Tom Van Club are Tom drunk as hell on the cruises.
Yeah, I know. And then they put those, and I'm like, oh, you didn't really have to put those in. You know what?
You look like
what about me looking cool or jumping?
I sent the link to all of our clients. I'm like, look at who you're doing business with.
But then I rationalized it. I was like, oh, it's the only one they could find, and then also maybe it's a way.
You love it, dude. Don't lie. You love it.
Look how bad I look.
You're like, hell yeah, they're talking about me.
No, it's me at the fattest point of my life.
I'm gonna watch this. Can I watch this?
In front of a sub shop.
Oh man!
And I was there for a radio promotion. Like I'm doing business.
Can I watch this?
He was minding his business.
I'm there.
Hey man, you're crushing it on views on this thing. Can you see that? I mean, this thing has been hammered. 54 views.
That was all us yesterday.
No, this was posted. This was posted in 2011, Sam.
Oh, I know, but only one person watched it.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. It was literally posted 15 years ago from the radio station. They only got 54 views in 54 years.
So this is some promotion I went to.
Well, this was a failure. You got 54 views in 11 years.
I didn't put this. I don't even know what this is. I didn't even know there was
12 years, Sam. 12 years. 54 views in 12 years.
And 50 of them were yesterday. Yeah.
All right, you ready? Can I get a little taste of this?
I have no recollection of this whatsoever.
I don't either. So what are you wearing? You're wearing a sheet. Is this a cutscene from The Whale?
No, I think...
Melissa, use this in The Whale.
No, of course, I got there, and... Okay, pause for a second.
Oh, my God, you're so big.
Well, no,
you have a blanket on.
That's the only thing that
Look how long those sleeves are.
Look at his back. Jesus Christ. Is that
those
you?
Those are three-quarter sleeves?
Is that Izzy?
I got a humpback. I got a fat deposit.
My God, you're fat.
Why is my... I look, I have a hunchback. What is that?
You got 2 burgers on your back.
Hold a burger back. This video has no sound? Why is there no sound for the video?
I guess there was like a weird format, and you can only get sound if you play it mobily, which is weird. Because it's so old.
Why am I even playing this? Hold on, then I'm going to play it.
Play it off your phone.
They uploaded a video that is so old that the internet
everybody, it's me, Drunk in the Mayor, and I
just ran the line at La Spada's.
I just did it out. There's a big lot out there. Come see it. Hey, look at my haircut. I look like a big fat hamster.
Why are you shaking around like this?
Okay, push pause.
Holy moly! I am big and fat.
I'll explain to you what's going on here. Okay. Of course, at the time, I'm disgruntled. I don't give 2 S's about anything.
You're hungover.
I hate the company. I hate the company I work for. Hate everybody. I'm like questioning what the hell is going to do here.
But you know you can make $300.
Yeah.
Wait, no, probably.
La Spada's is fine.
No, this was probably $500 because it was a.
No, hell no.
They didn't do the.
I don't think there's any money at all.
They used to do.
This is a free sandwich.
Well, I get $20. I get $20 for every endorsement commercial, but I think even back then when I was doing my Woman in a Comedy, they weren't even paying me for that because they're like, we don't know how to pay someone for an endorsement. Like,
Tracy asked where your neck is. All right, y'all are getting mean now.
Also,
was
I showed up to this. I think I was making subs.
Yeah, you were.
As a bit.
You said you you ran the line for like a lunch hour.
You did your whole thing about I used to do substantial and I know my way around it.
And I'm sure
there was audio on the one I listened to. I don't know.
And I'm sure
maybe it was just because it was on my phone. I don't know.
When I showed up there, I was like, wearing some whatever shirt, and then they were like, "Well, you got to wear some Las Patas shirt and apron."
They had a 4XL.
That's the only one they had. And then so I put it on because once I'm at the client's place, I'll do anything they tell me to do. Because I can be easily pressured into anything, and I feel like I owe them.
Wait a minute, I'm on the case. This one says promo 1. That leads me to believe there are more than one.
Oh,
I'm on the case.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, there's been lots of situations where someone's like, "Hey, can you do this or can you record this video?" And I'm like, "Yeah, let's do it."
I do that to you every Wednesday.
Like, and then they turn on the camera, and then I just try to act excited. I'm like, I'm sure saying something about the spot. Like it matters.
I got
all
one.
the whole time knowing. I'm like, none of this matters.
What's this one? Is this the same outfit? This is on the line.
Oh no, that's not you.
That's not you.
That's not you. That's not you.
But it does say when pigs fly.
Yeah. I'm trying to find more Drunky the Bear stuff.
No, there's lots of it.
God.
Yeah.
Do you remember this particular day?
No. The only thing I do remember.
Do you know you're still hanging in Las Patas? That picture of you.
Yeah. No, I know.
And you're wearing a hat.
I'm telling you, I like Las Patas, and I appreciate them sponsoring the show.
They don't sponsor our show.
No, I know they don't. But at the time, although I don't think I was getting any money for it.
Do you have it?
I would kill for Las Patas on Lee Road and in Orange City. So come check them out because.
Let me start from the beginning.
All right.
You're walking out the door.
What's going on? I'm Drunky the Bear from the Monsters in the Morning. I just got done working the lunch shift at Las Patas, and it was hard work. But now it's time to eat some delicious Las Patas. They got the best cheese.
You're shaking your boobs while you're doing it.
I'm eating a cheesesteak burger that I would kill for. Las Patas on Lee Road.
You would kill for a cheesesteak burger.
You know, you remind me of you.
It wasn't hard work, by the way.
You remind me of a young Sonny Tillman who in Sonny's Barbecue, where you're like, you know what I like to do after working the line at Las Patas, and now it's time to eat. I like that. You have like kind of that southerny, come on, like, sit down, get yourself a sweet tea, and have yourself a good old cheesesteak.
It's just the business of marketing.
Yeah. You've always done it. It's in your blood. Back when you started as a young a subman, a young subman out there just working. And smelling like cheesesteaks.
Who found this and then put it up on Reddit, and then now it spreads around?
I think it might have been Ghost.
No, you mother.
There are now you have, see, and now it turned on you. Your own ego turned on you. I'll tell you what happened. The allure of having your own.
Well, he found out he had the Tom Van Club, but he wasn't in it.
Right.
And then he thought it was something different.
Exactly.
And as soon as he got
that was his ego. His ego was like, oh, well, put me in there.
They love me.
I'll just
he does check in from time to time.
And then he did this. He's like, put me in there. I'll give it to you straight in your vein. He's like, I'll give you the story straight from the source. They didn't want that. They wanted a place where they could go and share videos where you look like an R word.
Yeah. And just like any insane narcissist, I just skip over the best.
Right.
I'm like, they didn't really mean that. I just, I'm like,
let's see here.
They love me.
I'll come back later when maybe something positive's here.
Yeah.
It's like old Corey Feldman. Have you seen all the videos of people? And I see this a lot on TikTok. I've been consuming a lot of TikTok.
Yeah,
lately.
you've been telling me. The only TikTok I get is you telling me about your TikTok.
But it's a way for me to consume like 80 micro videos and get an idea of what's going on in the world.
Isn't that confusing you more as an old man? Like if you give an old man 80 tiny concepts, he's going to understand none of them.
Well, it doesn't matter what you understand. I just want to get a snapshot of what's happening in the world and get a little bit of everything, right?
So, like most people complain, you just want to read all the headlines, and that'll give you enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And it'll like, let's see, and every once in a while, Corey Feldman videos will pop up. And
I do like me some Corey Feldman.
And what they are of their videos from his shows. And they'll show like him doing a guitar solo or whatever in the middle of song.
I have seen that one.
And then what it is it's like a half-filled venue, right? And like
it looks like it looks like a tiny. It looks like
we had a BDM that went to one of his shows.
A tiny bar gig.
And there are like there's not nobody there. There's people there,
like
and
250 people,
and they're cheering him on, and they want to like either whether or not it's just
he takes it dead serious.
It may be a Tom Van Club scenario where they're just.
I think there's a little bit of that.
Yeah, like where they're making fun of him, but they keep their mouth shut.
Yeah, like a dinner for schmucks.
Well, he's different than you.
But they're
you
like,
yell at
Corey.
them. You yell at them, and you're like, "You mother!" He doesn't do any of that. If he did a little bit of that, then they'd be a little more rambunctious. But they keep it in there.
He's too far gone to.
Well, you could hurt him. He's fragile. You can't go up to Corey Feldman and be like, "Man, I'm laughing at you because you are so close to being disabled." You can't do that. He would cry.
Yeah. Or I think he would turn it off, like he'd turn his reality off. I think he's so far removed from.
I know people that turn their reality off.
Like he doesn't even understand what's happening, or maybe he does. But when he goes to do the guitar solo, he's messing it up to the whole.
It's avant-garde.
And then he's like barely getting through it, and it's real bad. And then they kick back in.
It reminds me of Lee's guitar solo in the Barbecue Freakout.
No, it was better than Corey Feldman by far.
I'm going to try and find that one.
And then it's him singing off key, and then there's this weirdo pauses where he's trying to like build up like this, like a crowd roar, but nothing's happening.
No.
Like he'll stop and then just sit there and it'll go on for too long. But I think he expects like,
oh man,
but nothing happens. Everybody's just like talking, and then obviously kicks back in. It is hard to watch.
Well, it's
hard. Like you sit there and you're like, man, this is.
Is it
difficult.
harder to watch than The Whale?
Wow, that's a good question.
At least The Whale, everybody is acting and they all know what they're doing.
Let me ask you a question.
With Corey Feldman and his band, I'm like, do they know what's happening?
Let me ask you a question. If he, like you said, if he is able to go in, or even before the gig, he goes in, he's super excited about it, he loves playing the music, and he's able to shut off his reality, and maybe he's not aware that there are people there that are laughing at him. Does it matter? If it doesn't, right?
No.
I mean, he's getting a little bit of money. He's touring.
Yeah.
You can obviously see that doing this is what he's always wanted to do more than I think anything. Because look at how long he's stuck with this, the gimmick. He still dresses like Michael Jackson. He's still spinning around and doing the dances. He takes these performances. I've watched a full one before.
No, super
serious. Like, and I talked to a friend of mine who actually saw him and said, "Look, I understand what it is, and it's cringy, but man, he works his ass off to try and provide a show. Like he's working. He takes it dead serious. Now it may not be good, and it may be so cringe, but damn it, he's taking it seriously and he's working for you." So is there value in that?
Yeah, no, for sure. Because people bought the tickets, and whether or not they're happy at the end of it is up to them, or
Right. You can't change that.
But regardless, he is, like you said, taking it seriously and trying his hardest. But it is cringy to watch because he is not that good at what he's doing, and it's. I mean, there are parts, and maybe this is why it ends up on TikTok, and maybe the rest of the show is not as cringy, but there's parts of it that it's like barely getting through the guitar solo, weirdo, awkward things that are happening on stage, taking it too seriously based on where you're at or where your crowd is.
Like he's standing in a room as small as this studio, and he's like literally there's smoke all around him. He's got his fist in the air. And then he'll do like boom, pow. He'll do these like double arms, and he's still up, and the smoke's going around him.
He's acting as if he's Freddie Mercury at the Wimbledon. There's like a scene.
I like that though.
Yeah, it's fun to watch.
You only have a couple choices. Like if you were a comedian, you had one person there. Would you go out and act as if you were Eddie Murphy, delirious, and try to really give him a show?
Give him 100.
Yeah, I do respect I almost cursed. I respect the hell out of him for doing that because I got to tell you, I
couldn't do it.
It would be real hard. I could try. I don't know if I could do that.
It makes for a super cringe-worthy video clip, but it is odd.
Like somebody in the chat room said, it's like he's performing at like Uncle Lou's, but he's pretending he's at Wembley Stadium. And that is
I like that effort, though.
But some would say effort. Other would say this guy's deranged, right? Because why would
the
anybody
show's not
do
for
that?
you.
Because why would anybody do that, right? Like, why would you even
Bring
go
some
there
joy.
and put that there? Yeah, exactly.
If it makes them happy, well, it's fine. I'm glad it's happening because it's happening, and
At least he's working.
It's not going to happen forever, but right now we get to see it.
We do. I feel like it's going to dry up though. Because I feel like somebody's going to hurt his feelings too bad, or
I don't think so. He's been doing this for years.
I also feel like we missed the sweet spot on him. There was a sweet spot when he was touring everywhere, where we almost got him, where he's about to release the documentary about the pedophiles, and we could live stream. I feel like that was like we're here, and then
when the Today Show
got him,
yeah, that was what
that was sweet. Yeah, it was like man, and they were laughing. They were like cringy laughing on air. It was weird. You want to do some voicemails, emails?
Yep.
All right, buddy. I got one fired up and ready for you. Here you are. Here's voicemail emails.
Hey, Tom, Dan, and Sam. BDM Easy checking in from chilly San Diego. I was just listening to Dan. You were telling a story about walking home from the club, doing a long walk home at night, and the cop wouldn't give you a ride. That reminded me of the story when I was playing soccer at Florida Southern College in Lakeland. You got to remember, this is 1999, so no cell phone, no Uber, no Lyft. And one of the kids on the team, I guess he went home from winter break or something and took the Greyhound back. But the Greyhound dropped him off in Orlando. So he decided he was just going to walk from Orlando to Lakeland on I-4. And as you know, I-4, super sketchy, always under construction. Anyway, I think he made it about 8 hours before a highway patrolman finally picked him up and was like, what the hell are you doing? You're going to get yourself killed. And he drove him all the way back to campus. So there you go, Dan.
Well, that would stink, because then you got to try and find a ride. No, I mean, like,
you also can't leave a guy walking on I-4. That's just dangerous for everybody.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I was on sidewalks the entire way.
Yeah.
Like, we are, I mean, at least lucky in that regard. I mean, I know we don't have a lot of public transportation, and I wish that we did.
I know, it sucks.
I would take advantage of it, but we don't. So I walked, and we have a lot of sidewalks. I do have a scooter, which comes in handy, but certainly you don't want to do that drunk. Ooh, that'd be bad.
Every once in a while, you'll see people walking on the turnpike or I-4, places they shouldn't be.
I hate it.
And then you'll be like,
and they're always walking close.
And then you'll pass their broken down car like like a mile ahead. You're like, oh, that's where they came from. And then you're like, I probably should have gave that person a ride.
Have you ever given?
I'm not picking nobody.
I used to. I used to be a little more active in doing that, but now it's like a little different because people getting stabbed and killed. And
I'd pick people up. I'd do it. The problem is now I'm too busy. Like I never I'll do it.
Probably
I'm not afraid of them
notice
killing
the
me.
person on the side of the road.
Yeah.
You're probably
He's texting.
You're on your phone. You're calling.
And it doesn't
you're
happen.
In the Tom Van fan club, looking at how they're clowning you.
I rarely see hitchhikers at all.
Yeah, I don't see them anymore.
No one's putting.
You
out
know
their
where
thumb.
I see them the most? Out on the coast.
Well, beach people are crazy, and they live in a different world.
That's like the most I've seen them within the past 5 years.
It's sad that hitchhiking's not a thing anymore because I feel like a lot of people could travel like that, and people,
I think they still do.
You know, everybody's so afraid of it now, as picking people up and like the security of it.
Well, we're not down on our luck enough to not be afraid of it. You know what I mean? Like I feel like the people that are still using it they're not in our areas,
or they're extremely desperate.
But there are people still doing it.
Yeah. They're for sure.
Yeah, right when I start saying, "Wow, it's not a thing anymore." No, it is. It's just I'm not in that world.
I wonder if hitchhikers are utilizing social media more
for rides,
like some sort of ride share. Where there's some sort of...
It's just like that trucking thing you were explaining to me about, like, the guys bidding on things that...
Shipping, yeah.
I bet it's like that now.
Because it makes more sense, instead of standing there on the side of the road with your thumb out, that you'd go on some sort of Reddit page or
I'm
Facebook
sure,
page.
because there's also, there's smaller bands, they'll, couch surf. They'll ask for people if they can shower at their houses.
Yeah.
There's websites set
and there
up
are
for
websites that for even for Fest where it's like, hey man, I'm only catching one day.
Yeah,
exactly. Can I sleep somewhere?
Or can I catch a ride? I'm coming up from Orlando.
Yeah, that's true.
That happens.
You just got to get in the right group.
Yeah.
I guess. But I bet there are rideshare groups you could get in, but that's not really going to help a homeless person because they may not have a phone or...
They got phones.
Like, well, some of them do. But, like, you know the guy that's always under there by Kittinger Park? Man, he's been missing for the past 3 days, and Maisie keeps asking me about it, and I don't know what to tell her. I said, well...
Maybe he moved on.
Yeah.
I'm like, I hope he's okay. Well, the first thing Andrea wants to do is, like, he's dead. He probably died, Maisie. That's where Andrea goes. Let's try this one.
Hey, Tom, Dan, Sam, Chuck from Michigan. Just question. You guys always talking about Baba. Is Alibaba kind of legit, or it seems kind of sketchy to me, but I don't know, because there's some things on there I would like to get, but I think you have to have a business to do it. So can you fill me in on how that kind of works? And if you guys have had good luck with it. Thanks.
No, he's not talking about Bubba. He's talking about Baba. Alibaba. We make a lot of jokes about the website Alibaba because we buy a lot of Chinese garbage. I think we've only used it maybe once or twice, and Tony used it.
If Amazon is Target, Alibaba is Walmart. Right?
Okay.
Like that, I think that's the comparison.
But Alibaba's weird because like you'll find things you want, but you have to buy like 20,000 units, or you have to buy an entire shipping container, or.
But you could buy one-off stuff, and you could find.
You have.
It's
you bought those roaches one-offs off of Alibaba. I still have mine. It works great. It probably one of the best things you've ever bought me. It's stupid roach.
It's a discounted Amazon, right? That's essentially. I mean, it's an Amazon type.
Sam's going to have to give us a definition. I honestly don't know what it is. I'm assuming it is like a Middle Eastern Amazon, but...
Well, I thought it was like big in India and some Asian countries. Just different countries use it like we use Amazon.
Yeah, but why this guy brings up a good question.
Looks like it's more for like manufacturers and suppliers.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to say. I think it is for bigger companies.
A little more commercial.
Yeah,
and that's why you have to buy like massive amounts for the most part.
Right.
For the most part.
So I think that's primary. And it seems like the quality is
it's not great.
A little less.
Yeah.
You know.
AliExpress for singles is what this guy's saying. What is AliExpress?
That's possible.
Type in AliExpress. Is that the kind of their version of their meaning, India? Is that a Indian Amazon substitute?
It's an online retail service based in China and owned by the Alibaba Group.
Oh, so it is. So this is the less commercial Alibaba is AliExpress.
Okay.
Thank you, chat room. That makes a lot of sense. Tom and I will be spending a lot of time on AliExpress. You saved us a lot of time. Let's try this one.
Listening to Monday's ACT Porch Daddies, you guys are talking about VHS's videos from the past. You had no idea what was on them. Funny story with that with me. I was with my mom at a snowboard ski convention. They had a bunch of booths for all these different shops and brands and stuff out there. You can buy stuff. There's some snowboarding videos, and I was into snowboarding, and there's this one video called Plastic Soldiers. I know you can find it on YouTube, and there's some good scenes from there, but my mom asked the guy, like, oh, will he like this? And he's like, oh, yeah, he will like it. So she got me that snowboarding video, VHS, and never watched it with me, but I know why he knew I would like it, because there's some split scenes where they're all partying, and it's just girls in lingerie and half-naked women dancing around. There's some great snowboarding and some great music, some Rob Zombie is some of the soundtracks, some good heavy metal in there and everything. It's a great stunts and everything, but looking back on it now, I know my mom was oblivious to what was actually on that video, like Dan's dad would be oblivious to what was on some of the videos he was renting.
Yep. Totally true. I like how he slammed the stop button because he was disgusted with himself.
I remember the days of trick videos that skateboarders and dirt bike riders.
You put a hot girl.
Yeah, there was always some girls jumping up and down in a bikini or something.
Or for comedy bits.
I remember this.
Jackass
I remember this one surfing video where there's this guy and he went up. He came to the bottom of the wave, and then he came all the way up the top, and he just whips off the top, and immediately when he whipped, there'd be he's spraying water out, and then they cut in this one surfer video. They cut it and then they threw water, and it was like two girls standing there in thongs, and the water went on their butts.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, I was like, hell yeah.
They knew their audience.
Yeah, they knew what they were doing. It was like young boys who like surfing and thongs, so they just went for that.
And I wonder in the 90s, like, how much, like, I know some of these companies, like, for me, I grew up watching and going to the Power Sports store to purchase, like, the new Crusty Demons of Dirt video, which was essentially a group of dirt bike free riders, and they'd go out to different locations, and they film them doing jumps and tricks and, like, free riding.
Behind the desk at Blue Sky Surf Shop in St. Augustine, there were still DVDs. And Andy and I were like, they cannot be selling those. But this like 2 years ago. This like 2 years ago, but they were there. They were there.
And it got to the point where I'd see some of these videos. They'd have like rent helicopters and stuff. And we're like, okay, these filmmakers are making money, but impossible to really know how much back then. Like, were they making millions off of this? Were they selling, tens of thousands of copies of it?
Sam, you might be able to look this up. Look up Kelly Slater, Quicksilver, black and white or black or white. That, I think, made money. That I remember. That was like, that video was like so. Everybody had a copy of it, man. Like it was everywhere, and it was propped up by one of the bigger surfing brands of Quicksilver. I can't imagine that didn't make any money. Like every friend I knew had Kelly Slater black and white.
Yeah. And then there's a skateboard version of this. There's
oh sure. Like, well, you had in the 80s, leaching into the 90s, where all the they didn't make any money because it was all bootleg, but you had all of the Pal Peralta, the Quest for Animal Chin.
Yeah.
All of those we watched. All of those crazy Tony Hawk videos where we'd always
CKY came out of that.
Just came right into like Haggard and CKY and all the different like underground videos. I know for a fact that the ones that we were watching they were always bootleg, so there was no money being exchanged there. It was always just somebody's dad had a high-speed dubber, and you'd break the tab, right? And you just copy it all day.
Speaking of that, have you seen that Steve-O has taken Bam Margera under his wing and is taking him on tour with him to try to help him? What?
I said, is he?
Yeah,
I know he was on his podcast.
It will help.
It's hard to watch.
Yeah. It will help him because, though, Steve-O's watching him all the time, and that's probably what he needs, but I don't know. I don't know. Maybe a lost cause.
You know what's hard to watch for me is watching Bam Margera's career, where I was looking at this guy, and the brand was always this young kid that had no worries at all, doing whatever he wanted,
not a care in the world.
Skateboarding, jackass, and he was living this insane life that we all looked up to. Like, I want a purple Lamborghini and have a mansion castle.
Who doesn't?
And just have fun and do jackass things with my friends and skateboard. You know what I'm saying?
Or hood rat things with your friends. I like that kid.
So you look at that and then now you got this guy that's had addiction problems. He's obviously has some sort of chemical imbalance or
there's an issue.
Or there's issues mentally, and then with his addiction, and then his weight, he's turning into his dad. Where
even his mom in the documentary talks about that.
Yeah.
He's predisposed to way more, really. He's going to be heavier no matter what because of just his family life. But the people he used to hang out with, would always drink, and he would just substitute alcohol for his calories, and he would stay thin.
And then what's so weird is now you got Steve-O, who's got his life together, right?
Dude, he's top tier, got it all organized.
No, he went to a lot of rehab and therapy.
Yeah.
He worked.
You got to be willing to do that.
He's in programs.
He worked really, really hard.
And he's changed it. I think he's all vegan. He's been vegan for a long time, and it's so he looks healthy. Mm-hmm. His teeth look good. He's like Steve-O. He's wearing glasses. He's got gray hair now. He's turning into what's her name from True Lies?
It's turning into she fights Michael Myers, right?
What's her
Jamie Lee Curtis?
Jamie Lee Curtis. He looks a little like Jamie Lee Curtis.
Look like Jamie Lee Curtis.
No, Johnny Knoxville looks like Jamie Lee Curtis.
No, they both are a little courtesy.
Yeah, he looks a little courtesy too.
Yeah.
Anyway,
they're both courtesy.
And you're watching, so now Steve-O's trying to help Bam Margera, like get him back on his feet and get him into programs, and like he thinks that I'll take him on tour with me,
so I can keep an eye on him.
Keep an eye, and then also I'm sure he's paying him a little something because Steve-O and Bam Margera could still sell tickets, right? People go see because they're
really
so huge,
too,
but it is hard to watch because you're like, oh god.
And it's also sad seeing Bam skate now because like 1 out of every 15, he'll hit a trick that you're like, oh my god, but the other ones he's falling,
and he never turned into an adult, and he's stuck in this perpetual like.
He's skateboarding Corey Feldman.
Yeah.
He needs a fedora.
He's Jackass Feldman.
Jackass Feldman.
Because Corey Feldman, because you're like, you're 15 years old, Feldman.
Feldman's on tour with Steve Curtis?
Well, it's always a little sad when you never... You could do the same stuff because it's not sad for Steve-O.
So we have to have families. We have to be dads. We have to have something that keeps us like... looking like adults in order for us not to be made fun of.
You don't even need families. You just, like, Steve-O's...
You got to keep it between the lines.
Steve-O seems like he's transitioned where he still does a little Jackass, still does, but, when you can't be a hardcore addict and have your life all falling apart and be that age and us all...
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to have your S together. Like, if you want to do some drugs and party, whatever, but obviously the people that couldn't keep it between the lines, like Steve-O had to go full recovery, right? But he's doing well. Like he's got his...
What is Bam going to be doing?
That's the awkward part, because I imagine that Steve-O, who's still relatively new at putting together stage shows, is going to probably shoehorn him into some show.
I didn't know it was a tour. I thought you meant... I got this all wrong. I thought you meant that because he does his show on the road, I thought he was just bringing him along sort of like, I can keep an eye on you.
No. He's involving him into the show, which I imagine is going to be awkward when you're there. I'd love to hear if someone's they're all in California.
I would go though. I mean, if they rolled through Orlando, and he spends a lot of time in Florida, if they rolled through Orlando because maybe they have ties here, I would go see them. I would go see them talk.
I couldn't do it.
Really?
I couldn't. I can't
imagine. Okay,
hold on. Maybe I'm giving Steve-O too much credit, but I can't imagine he's going to go into this
fine.
with not organizing this because he knows it's going to look bad.
Yeah, they're not coming here.
He knows it's going to look bad though because he's done enough. He's been sober long enough to know that when things look bad.
But also, he has now curated, I'm sure, a stage show that at the first, when Steve-O first started doing it, it was a little hard to watch because he started doing too much of the stunts and having people choke him out and knock him out on stage and that kind of thing. And I think now it's really down to a lot of different stories, curated stories, and a touch of stand-up, right?
Yeah.
With a couple tricks, and they're more magic tricks at this point, right? Like he's doing.
Well, he used to be a clown. He went to clown school.
Right, that's what people are saying in the chat room. They're like, don't forget that Steve-O actually went to school and is a sort of a natural-born entertainer.
Yeah, he could do some handstands and do some tricks on stage, incorporate that, and then tell some stories. And
he's also really likable too.
He's a likable guy, and
charismatic.
What he's doing right now is positive and not sad. It's like, oh, good for you.
Like his dog. He's building.
Yeah, he's building.
I got this dog from Peru.
This guy's he's healthy now.
I do want to say that yesterday
I got this dog from Peru. It's hard to listen to my voice.
When I was getting my hair done. Anything I talk about with my hairdresser does not move the needle. When I mentioned that Steve-O had been on this show, she thought I was lying. She had me pull it up on you. She's like, "Oh my god, this is so cool!"
She an old skate rat or something?
She's like 23 years old.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, but she's
a huge celebrity.
She watches his podcast.
I thought maybe she'd like Jamie Lee Curtis.
No, he's a big celebrity and at the time, in the early 2000s, it was the biggest thing in the world. So he can parlay that into the rest of his career, selling tickets and stuff just off his name.
And if you got into Jackass, let's say in like 2010 when you were younger, which kind of fits the bill of your hairdresser, I could see that happening.
It's just the old Bam Margera is like he's struggling.
I'm gonna wish him the best.
Like,
I'm gonna maybe Steve-O starts him slow, brings him out as an opener. He tells one sort of funny, entertaining story, and then he's like, "Okay, everybody, here's Steve-O," because he talks with his mouth clenched.
Yeah,
I can't stand watching him talk. Maybe that's why I couldn't go either, because he'd get up there and he'd be like,
it's like when my dad's jaw was wired shut.
And I'm like, open your mouth, please. For the love of God, your teeth move.
Now, I would have said the
drugs, you got to clench your teeth. Everybody knows.
Yeah.
I thought that was a Pennsylvania thing.
Well, I would have said the same thing about Steve-O when he was like, whipping crazy and out of control. I'd be like, this guy's never going to get turned around. Like, this guy's life is screwed.
Was it Jimmy? What was the late night show he was on where he's like lifting up the table and they're like, whoa. That's my favorite.
Carolla.
It was Carolla.
When Carolla had a late night show for a couple episodes and he had
ho, and Steve-O was fighting him, going crazy. Have you ever seen that?
No.
Oh, it's really good. Yeah. It's really good.
So maybe Bam turns it around and then like all of a sudden starts talking normal, because when you watch him, you're like,
it's sad.
Either he's still on drugs or just like he's not far out of it enough to like the effects of like.
It also can cause permanent damage.
Yeah, he tells this story about his doctor, and I've never heard this, but during the documentary, he's like, when he first got to the doctor said, your bones are like dried rubber bands, and they had to pump me full of water so I could skate again. And I'm like, I don't think that's science, and I don't think your doctor said you had rubber band bones. I think, I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about.
It's like you're killing yourself with your, with what you're doing to yourself. And yes, it can cause permanent brain damage, but look at Steve-O.
Nerve damage, I'm saying, though, too.
Maybe he's too far gone.
Steve-O did alcohol, more drugs than,
But I think in a lot of ways, and just alcohol. A hot take, I think alcohol in a lot of ways can be a lot worse than these guys are like, I took LSD 100 times. Okay, I get that. But he drank 1 million beers for 20 years. Yeah, which is worse?
And hard liquor.
I think the 1 million beers is worse.
But we've seen,
and it depends on your genetics too.
True.
Yeah. It's all a mishmash of crap.
I've seen some pretty bad alcoholics turn it around, and they seemingly fine after. It didn't give them some sort of weird.
My mom's sister did. She completely turned alcoholism around. It had some other demons that got her that had nothing to do with it. But
I've also seen people that have drank for 20 years still do fine. You know what I'm saying?
They're
still hardcore alcoholics, and it doesn't
probably
seem
the nasty hook, right? Is the other alcoholics see that too and go, well, how's that happen?
Can't be that bad.
Yeah, we have time for one more. This one's probably going to make you mad.
Hey, Tom, Dan, and Sam. I did the Night Court Challenge with the new Night Court. I watched it till I couldn't stand it anymore, which was I got to the theme song and rocked out that. It was really bad.
Wait, this is the right one. There is one guy that called and said he loved it, and this is Counterpoint. This is the guy that hates
My wife instantly goes, this looks like a bad high school play. It was so bad in the first 30 seconds. But I did the research, and I did what Tom wanted to know. What are the commercials during Night Court?
Do you want to know?
Okay.
Okay.
So I just did the first commercial break, and here they are. It was a pill for a bad heart, T-Mobile, Downy Wrinkle Guard, moisturizing lotion, fancy dog food, a J-Lo movie / Prime Video, Subaru talking about their dumb charity, Pantene hair shampoo stuff, a Google phone, and then an ad for another dumb-looking NBC show.
So it's old white people.
There's
their demographic.
Night Court Challenge. Thank you.
Middle America, that's it.
Pretty much.
Although it's hard now because it's like, well, what platform were you watching it? Were you watching it on Hulu Live? Because that may have different commercials.
Everything has different commercials.
Bright House, it's all being curated.
Wait
now.
till we have different commercials. You'll be listening to us in Sanford. You'll be getting a West End commercial. You'll listen to Orlando, and you're going to get a downtown Orlando commercial.
It is weird because I'm listening to a true crime podcast that's about an Ohio situation, but all of them are from Orlando. So I heard Laura Diaz, I heard Brian from XL, and I'm like, it's throwing me off here.
Yeah. Well,
I don't
Tampa.
like it. She is Tampa.
A little Tampa action.
That everybody's trying. Believe me, I do it. We don't have the means to do it, but you can put whatever commercial in front of whatever IP address from whatever cities down. Like so, someone
we actually can do it. We just haven't utilized it. Libsyn will let us.
Well, we're not big enough, but there's if you are a national national show and you got like iHeart behind you or some of these marketing agencies, like they'll put if you're downloading from Orlando, it'll be a local Orlando commercial. Like,
and it should be.
Yeah.
I mean, that's smart.
You make the most
smart,
money.
yeah.
You don't want to hear something of some commercial you can't even utilize.
I did enjoy those though, because there were times when you'd get these odd commercials, and I'd be like,
you're right.
I mean, if you're a weirdo like me, you like the weird commercials, right?
Yeah.
We gotta take a break.
Okay, cool.
We're getting out of here.
Bye.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Our producer Sam is here. Hello, Sam.
Hello.
Let's not waste any time. Let's jump into our guest. We got to see her, once in our old studio.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
You had a goofy haircut. Once at Hard Rock Live on September 10th in 2021, we got to see her and Andrew Collin, and it was an amazing show. And she is back in town this Saturday at Hard Rock Live. Ladies and gentlemen, on the line with us is Nikki Glazer.
Hello.
Hey, Nikki. Okay, so Daniel mentioned it, and the last time we spoke with you was 2015 in our podcast studio in Orlando. It was our old studio. It was 8 years ago. You were killing it then. You were up and coming.
You were addicted to ASMR.
Yeah.
You walked us through ASMR. We did sound.
Oh, yeah. I'm still into that.
All right. So by the way, congratulations on all your success, because I see you everywhere. But I'm curious, Nikki, if you were going to give yourself advice 8 years ago, back in 2015, because of everything you've done now in the past 8 years, what would that be?
Oh, my God, that's such a good question. Okay, 8 years ago, 2015, I'd say don't get too excited about anything because it all gets taken away.
Oh, my God.
That's depressing.
Don't ever, celebrate the highs, but don't, expect them to last forever. Every show gets canceled.
I'm going to tell you.
Every success you will have will be forgotten. You could get a star on the Walk of Fame, and someday it will be removed. No one's legacy lasts forever. Don't hang your hat on that. And also, start looking into this thing called TikTok, because it's going to be big. Start clipping out your material now. Start, learning how to do tiny dances with just your arms and your, standing in place. I would have, that would be my advice.
Is it difficult when you
kind of nihilistic?
Yeah, it's lovely, though, and it's honest. When you see stuff like that on TikTok, when you see how it's going and how it is now, is it something you embrace as a comedian, or is it something you have to struggle with and fight with?
It's a struggle, because I don't like watching myself. I don't like things out there for people to comment on. That's why I like live stand-up. That's why I love, coming to town this weekend and just doing 2 shows at the Hard Rock. It's those shows just exist in that moment. There's no comment section about them later. They're just special for that evening, for those people there. I just love live performance, and so TikToks, I just feel I just picture people making them and then watching their own TikTok and just being like, God, I'm so interesting. It's just also cringe to me and really sad, and I really don't have TikTok on my phone because I feel like it's so addictive. I'm scared of it. So I miss out on being way more famous than I am because of these things I don't do, but I just don't like doing them. Even this weekend, I have 2 shows, on Saturday night, and we added the second one, and my agents are like, can you make a video to promote the second show? And I'm like, no, I don't. Who needs this? If you don't want to come to I get it. I need to just get in front of people's eyes and remind them I'm coming to Orlando, thus why I'm, doing this call. And I like these kind of conversations. I don't want to make a video where I'm like, hey guys, it's Nikki. So I'm going to be in Orlando this week. It's just, unless it has a point to it and, but then at the same time, if I make it funny, that means I have to write an entire piece for just an Orlando promotion that will take probably 4 hours of my time to even conceive of. And so I just, I end up not doing that, and then the promoters aren't happy.
Yeah.
But I've been selling well, so I'm not worried about it. I think people are going to come out regardless of a dumb video I put out that offers nothing other than, hey, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm tired of saying, hey, guys.
You know, it's interesting, Nikki, because I've seen so many comedians go towards like they're like, well, I'm not doing local media anymore because it's pointless. I'm just doing social media will promote it for me.
Yeah, my fans follow me; they'll know. Yeah.
But I feel like now we're like it's so much static, and there's so many things that people miss it. So then it's like it almost there is some value getting in front of like telling our audience like, hey, Nikki's going to be at Hard Rock Live. Buy tickets. Like, oh, I missed that. Even though that they probably scrolled past it on their own social media feed because they're just consuming so much. And that brings me to an article I read, Nikki, where you limited yourself and your phone to only 2 hours of social media, and then it turns off after. Do you still do that?
Yeah, I still have it. It doesn't turn off. The article made it sound like I really have these like crazy sanctions up for myself. It just sends an alert that I then just say, I'm okay. It just sends an alert like, it's been 2 hours, you've reached your limit, and then I just go, well, it's not enough, phone. And then I say, bye. Like, I have a thing to remind me that I'm slipping up. And it doesn't, I often don't surpass it. Like, most of my time is spent on my phone, like, texting and, I do a lot of like Reddit I am on Reddit a lot, but nice. I don't spend a lot of time on social media anymore, thank God, because I think I would jump off a bridge if I did. It's just too much comparing myself to other people. It's just there's not enough entertainment on there for me. I think people are. It's not that compelling.
Last time,
not that I'm better than anyone that does social media. I absolutely would get sucked into it, but I just don't let myself. It's like heroin. Honestly, I think I'd love heroin if I picked it up, but I can't.
It doesn't benefit. It seems like it doesn't better anybody. Like consuming a bunch of social media doesn't really make you a better person.
No.
It really,
it doesn't. It makes me sadder. It makes me just say like, why aren't I doing that workout? Why aren't I eating that meal? Why can't I cook like that? Why can't I, draw like that? Whatever someone's doing is just completely backfires on me. And so, I try to avoid it and stay in a bubble of my own. I like, making, just comparing myself to myself, which also is not good. I mean, sometimes I see my own Instagram and I'll go, gosh, this bitch is killing it. Like, she is amazing. And I get jealous of myself because it's all a lie. I mean, I pick the pictures I post, and I'm a pretty authentic, honest person on there. But the pictures I post are still the best picture of the series we took.
Yeah.
It's always the best angle, the best, my eye isn't doing a weird, goofy thing. Like, everyone looks good. Everyone. And we don't realize that we're all doing the same things to make ourselves look as good as possible. We all think that, like,
how do you, because it seems like every time we've talked to you, you've always been really good at setting boundaries, or at least trying to do things that better yourself. You've been sober, and then I was just listening to you on Trash Tuesday, and Annie Letterman was talking about how she's been sober for like 14 years, and I think you guys are like coming up on like almost like the same amount of time. So why does that seem to be a trend? And I see it a lot in maybe more so in female comedians who seem to be kind of getting their act together and like bettering themselves and taking care of themselves. Why is that, and why did you choose to do that?
I think comedians in general are really intense people and really and addicts. Like we to do what we do, you have to be very self-flagellating. Like you have to like kind of hate yourself. You have to have low self-esteem because it's so brutal and so much rejection. So I think we're already like depressed people. So you add alcohol to that, like we'd all be dead if we kept up what we were doing. So I think that it gets to that point for us where we hit bottom so much quicker than other people because we're so intense, we're so depressed. And so I think it's just more of that. And I think that also we're so competitive that we see each other succeed and we go, what's working for her? What's working for him? And it's often sobriety. And you go, oh, okay, I guess I got to lay off this now and see if this is the magic ingredient. And it typically is. Like, I mean, my addiction now is like work. I am just suddenly realizing like, oh, lack of sleep is like destroying my life. And so now I'm like, I just wrote my assistant saying we have to make Mondays where I have nothing to do because I work all weekend and then I travel on Sundays and that's supposed to be my day off, but I'm traveling all day. And so I'm like, I need one day where I'm home with nothing. And it's going to be the hardest thing for me to do because I I hate idle time. Is like, oh, you could be making something right now. You could be making more money. You could be making more posts. It's exhausting.
That's you, Tom.
Boundaries are definitely something that I've had to have in my life, and it's hard to do.
Well,
it's hard to have boundaries with boundaries.
Nikki, that leads me to my next question, because you recently had vocal cord surgery, and you had to be on, it was 3 weeks of vocal rest?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
So what did you do?
I've done this. Remember when I had the whiteboard? I've had to do this, Nikki. It's terrible.
So with
it's terrible.
You obviously can't work.
Honestly, it was like the nicest time of my life, because I literally couldn't work, because any other time that you can't work because of a sickness, or they can usually get you on the phone. You can still call, and you can podcast from home. You can just there's always a way to get you to work if you can't show up. But this time I had no voice, so I really couldn't work. It was a dream. It was awesome, and it made me appreciate my work, and made me miss it, and it was great, and I really needed it. Like, it just came at the perfect time, but it was definitely scary. How did you find it to be?
I didn't
when you did it?
I had to do vocal rest, and then I still have a little something back there. Like, I never got as far as getting surgery. They said, and plus I'm just slinging podcasts now. I'm not singing anymore. I'm not doing any of that. So it doesn't really matter to me. But if I were in your position, or like John Mayer or somebody important, I would probably do it, take it a lot more serious. But you sound amazing for getting a procedure. You sound great.
Thank you. Yeah, it's really cleared things up, and I really wanted to be able to sing. I did The Masked Singer in September, or I guess I did it in July, and then that's where I realized there was something on my cord, and I was really struggling with singing, and so I had the surgery in September, and since then I've been able to sing so much better, and that's another career that I'm kind of pursuing, and that has taken up a lot of my time and energy. So I can't even imagine having kids or like a family. I don't know how people do it. I'm really impressed with, like, people think I'm busy, and I'm like, God, if I had kids or a family to answer to, it would be, I wouldn't be here anymore. I couldn't do it. I would just disappear.
But maybe you will.
So, Nikki, speaking
no, I just decided not to freeze my eggs, so I'm kind of cutting it short. I'm not having kids. It's done for me. I looked at it as like, oh my God, I just won $1 million because I decided not to have kids.
That's
how I'm treating my life. I bought a new couch. I'm pretty psyched about the decision.
You also won your life.
Yeah, you won your life back.
I won time and money. I mean, I might get a nose job instead of buying a kid's swim lessons. Who knows what I'll do with all this money?
And Nikki, listen, I have 2 sons. I love them more than anything, and in fact, I believe truly that it's the best thing I've ever done in my life, and I wouldn't want to live without them. But I also am honest enough to think, well, if they never existed, what would my life be moving forward? If I didn't know them, then I would have this amazing
pile of money.
So much time to work, so much time to invest in myself. Like you don't have other 2 human beings to put all your time and effort to. It is kind of like a curse.
It is, and it's always the same story. It's like, no parent ever regrets it. They're always like, I love the kids, I love the people I made, but man, parenthood is just so hard, and I just haven't heard anyone really sell me on it yet. So I know I'm missing out on, this great feeling of being a parent and everything like that, but
I think it's overrated. I mean, I have a daughter as well, and I will tell you right now that what you're talking about, let's just be honest, we're just talking about feelings, right? So we're not going to hurt anybody's feelings. So I'll say right now, if I didn't have my daughter Maisie, my life would be a lot more fun than it is right now. That's not to say that I don't love my life now. But
having a dog is like 80% of a game.
Oh, you're a dog mom. You're a dog mom. My dog right now, as we talk, Nikki, my dog right now is getting neutered. Dansby, the West Highland Terrier.
Aww.
He is currently getting into his surgical suit. My wife bought 6 of these little suits.
Aww.
He has to wear this suit so he doesn't bite at his genitals.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we bought like 6 of them, all different kinds. And I know you're a dog mom, and this would be my final question for you because Tom thinks I'm insane. I talk to my dog like Dansby. I just got him. He's 6 months old. I'm like, oh, look at these. I talk to him. I kiss his face. I kiss his little black lips. I rub his belly, and I just smooch all over him. And I talk to him like a human, like a baby. Tom thinks I'm insane. Do you do that at all?
Well, I have to say that I did give my dogs to my parents because they were too much for me. So I am a deadbeat dog mom.
Yeah.
But I miss them so much. I love them so much. I'm thinking about getting, like, my life is kind of getting manageable again. So I'm thinking about getting another one because my parents won't give me back my dogs because I love them so much. But I am absolutely the same way. I am all up in it. Like, my friends are, like, grossed out by how much I love my dogs. And I just... And they die, like, in 14 or 15, 16 years. Like, that's, like, it's so sad. Like,
it is.
I hate that we you know, you're probably going to be around when you're sweet dogs. I mean, I don't mean to bring us all down, but, like...
Well, let's do it.
That's what I say.
Usually with your kids outlive you. The sad part about having an animal is that you probably... That's why I might get a bird, because birds live to be, like, 80, so... I kind of want an animal to outlive me because I can't take losing it. It makes me too sad to think about.
Nikki, Tom's mother-in-law has like 7 African Greys. It's like a jungle in there.
Yes!
That's what you need.
You do.
I can get you a bird.
You get the satisfaction of when you do die, you leave your birds to some family member and curse them forever.
It's like a movie.
You know what? If he ever passes, sign me up for one of those birds because I will rescue one of those birds.
It's a curse.
Birds,
it's like the monkey's paw.
Rescue.
It's like the monkey's paw or the ribbon tied around the lady's neck that when you untie it, her head falls off. You can't do it. It's a curse.
Nikki, I promise we'll let you go after this. And again, she'll be at Hard Rock Live. 2 shows on Saturday. Get your tickets before they sell out.
Get them.
But I read a story, Nikki, where you were at a casino and you saw Jerry Seinfeld and he was a fan of yours and how that made you feel. And I imagine it's such like a surreal thing to have Jerry Seinfeld like know you and know your work and appreciate it and give you a compliment. And because we know you're very self-deprecating, and we've read all about you, so how was that to take someone like Seinfeld telling you that?
That was really like I mean, I've been doing this 20 years. I've had all these successes, and people say the nicest things, and you kind of just have that imposter syndrome. You guys have it too, of like, I've tricked someone into thinking I'm good and all these things. But when Jerry Seinfeld tells you you're good, you don't really get to say, no, you're just being nice. Because he's not someone who's just being nice ever, you know? Yeah. So it was the first time in my career where I got like a compliment, and I couldn't just write it off as like, well, they don't know better, or, you know, they're just being nice, or that's just what you say. Like, it really was like, okay, I guess I'm good, you know? Like, ever since that moment, I've kind of had a skip in my step and a lot more confidence. It's so sad that it took that, 20 years into my career to actually feel like I'd made it. But it was like, I think that means more than any award I could win or any kind of, ratings I could get. Sure. I just, when people come to my shows, I feel the love, and I love my fans. But your fans aren't comedians, and you always want the approval of your peers, that's who you're going for. Your jaded, jealous peers. And Jerry Seinfeld's enthusiasm, honestly, when he met me, it felt like he was meeting a member of One Direction. I felt like it was a joke, because I honestly, when he first said hello to me and was like, I love you, I'm such a fan, I've watched everything you do, you were so funny, I said, are you doing an impression of what I was going to say to you?
It's like a goof. Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. And he was like, what do you mean? I go, why are you saying that? I'm like, it was so weird. So I'm still reeling from it. And I appreciate you bringing it up, because it was a great moment of my life. And it really changed. It was halfway through my tour, and I was feeling great about my tour. But then after that, it's just given me so much more confidence on stage to just know that the person who I think is the funniest and who is really just such a critic of comedy and is not giving anyone accolades unless they deserve it. I was just like, okay, well, I guess I'm good now. And it's just given me so much more confidence, and my show has just gotten so much better because of that one interaction with Jerry Seinfeld. It's incredible what that can do.
Wow.
I love that you're an energy person, and every time we talk to you, you're so great. And next time you're in Orlando, we'd love to see you in person. 2 shows.
I would love it.
2 shows, and go and snag those tickets.
Yeah, Hard Rock Live, everybody knows.
Yeah.
Quick question.
It's such a great venue. It's so much fun. I have always had so much fun in Florida. If people have not been to a comedy show before, this is always my spiel, because a lot of people don't go to comedy shows because, like, I don't know, it's just like something they've never done.
Yeah.
I promise you it is better than music a lot of times, because although I love going to concerts, you can kind of get in your head the whole time. Like, you can listen to music and still think about, your to-do list tomorrow. But you can't really listen to comedy and compute what the story they're telling and also worry about your day tomorrow. It really is an escape. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
If you've never been to a show, let this weekend at my show be the first one you go to. And also, if you can't find anyone to go with you to the show, go alone to a comedy show. My show is not the kind where I'm going to find you sitting alone and make fun of you. I like to encourage people. I'm in awe of people who go alone. Don't miss out on a fun night because your friend can't get a babysitter or can't afford it.
Yeah.
Like, just go alone. It is a perfect date for yourself. You will look cool. You won't look stupid, and I think you're awesome if you go alone.
There you go.
Nikki, before we let you go, I have to ask: is there any possibility that another network is going to pick up F-Boy Island? Because that was one of my favorite shows.
Very, very possible. I'm hearing rumblings already that they're fighting over it. So
good. Let them fight.
I am so happy to say yes. There will be more F-Boy.
Hey, awesome. You heard it here. Well, hey, take care. Enjoy Orlando, and we hope to talk to you again real soon. Bye.
Thanks, Nikki.
Appreciate you. Thanks.
See ya. She is so sweet. She's always so kind and pro, and she gave us a lot more time than I believe she was allotted. So thank you so much to her people.
Go see her for
doing
sure.
That. Yeah, go see her. Sam and I actually got to see her. We mentioned that briefly when we started the segment. We got to see her in 2021, September 10th, 2021, with her roommate at the time, Andrew Collin, who's also an extremely talented and very, very funny comedian. You should follow him on Instagram as well. He and his, I believe, fiance or wife now have a podcast that's funny too.
You know, it's funny because we've been doing this long enough where now we're seeing people's careers as, you know.
She was an improv comic when we met her.
Yeah, the beginning, or like not even say the beginning because she's been doing it for 20 years. So even 8 years ago, she had been doing it for 12 years already. So
I met her 12 years ago when we did morning radio with Amy Schumer. I met them together.
Yeah.
You were there.
I was,
Yeah, you were there. We met her. That was now.
Nikki was opening for Amy.
Yeah, Nikki, you want to hear something funny, Sam? Nikki was opening for Amy Schumer. Amy came in. The intern at the time accidentally let them both in at the same time. You weren't supposed to do that. Some hosts like that, some hosts don't. So Nikki sat next to Amy. Amy got the only mic. Nikki didn't get to talk. I remember that.
Yeah.
She just sat there.
It was crazy. Like
she just sat there the whole time.
Are the biggest female comedians
in the world.
Right now. Yeah. And so it's cool to see someone have such a tremendous amount of success, and just watch it happen. Because I see her pop up in all the everything.
She's everywhere. She'll do the what was that show At Midnight. She'll pop up on there. She'd pop up on the late night shows.
She hosted Jimmy Kimmel the other. I was going to talk to her about that. It's funny because she's
on Dancing with the Stars.
I think she just says yes to a lot of things.
That's what I read about her.
It's super smart. You know,
she works a lot.
Yeah, she. Yeah, you guys mentioned. I forgot about Masked Singer.
Yeah,
completely forgot about that. It's interesting about the node that
and
she
now
got
she's gonna possibly
what was
turn that into
Is she gonna
another
start
career.
singing?
She wants to start
serious or comedy.
No, serious. And
that's hard.
And that's the thing because we could have talked to her for an hour, obviously. But
that's why I want to get her in here and do a real interview.
Calling in on the phone, you got to be respectful because you hold them on too long, and you're like, man, I'm
taking up their time.
You guys
have to be engaged.
If you're watching on YouTube or Twitch, you look at me. Right around the 12-minute mark, you're going to see me start to sweat a little bit.
Oh, I had a million F-Boy Island questions.
I get a little fidgety. Well, jump in there, lady. I'm glad you asked that.
Now you guys had a good flow going on.
I'm so glad you asked that question because, man, I haven't seen that anywhere.
It's rude to keep people on the phone.
I mean, they only announced the cancellation last month, so.
Yeah.
Are we doing any more here? Are we breaking? Are we going to roll into voicemails?
I think we should break.
We should break.
There you go. Thank you.
We'll be right back. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Our producer Samantha is here. Hello, Sam.
Hello.
Hey, are you? Well, I know Tom is. We're gonna solar bear up. Are we breaking? Are we trying to break the world's Guinness Book record for most amount of people wearing tie-dye.
In one place.
That's at the Solar Bears game, February 4th. We're going to be out there.
Yep. Yeah.
Hanging out.
Saturday.
Make sure you get your shirts.
Only a few tickets left in the Tom and Dan section, so if you want them, go to tomanddan.com and in section 118.
It's getting tight. Yeah, section 118. Get your tickets.
This game has been popular.
Wear your tie-dye. I think they will have some stuff there that we're getting, but if you don't grab that stuff, wear the tie-dye that you own.
Also, adult night for the STEM Fest is February 18th, and you can get your tickets. So they're only $19.
Yeah.
And if you're a actual member of the Orlando Science Center, it's a little cheaper than that. Though,
yeah,
so.
you save a little money. There will be some food that you can purchase on site provided by Hard Rock.
Yeah, alcohol. That whole weekend is STEM weekend, and so you.
But
can
that's not just kiddo stuff. I know we talk about the Science Center and the fact that they do a lot of kid stuff, but they also do, like we just did the big beer fest they did. That was for adults, and they're doing an adult STEM night, and we would certainly like to have you there.
Yeah. Science is for adults, too.
What?
Yeah.
Say it, sir. It's true. It's true. It's not just for kiddos. I think people get like that, though. Tom's right. I think people think, I did science in school, and then you get to be an adult, and you're like, well, I'll never need that again. But it's interesting, and it's fun.
Yeah.
Let's do some voicemail email.
All right. I'm going to start. Let's go email first, because voicemails... Not so many, but email, man. Email is
I got a
piling
lot.
up. Yeah.
Okay.
And we got this new shiny thick paper because I forgot to buy computer paper. We're printing everything on really slick, expensive poster board, and we're just hemorrhaging money. Like that email she's holding right there, that's $7.
Yeah. I started looking around for scrap papers and my scrap paper mountain to write my crazy...
That's the new ride they're having at Disney. We got Splash Mountain, now we got scrap paper mountain.
Can you imagine you ride through Tom's desk? Kratom blowing in your face.
Okay, so this one is texting after bedtime. Hey, y'all. I just sent a text to a friend of mine who has kids. It's 10:45 p.m. I immediately looked at the clock and realized what I had done and felt incredibly guilty. So, of course, I immediately sent an apology text.
No!
But as soon as I hit send, I thought, well, if the first one didn't wake somebody up, the second one surely will. Rather than apologize for my apology text, I decided to shut the heck up that night.
Let it go.
Everyone has accidentally sent a text too late at night. My question is, are you the type of person who sends the follow-up apology text or no? I expect all three of you are far too wise to send the follow-up apology text, but for different reasons. What say you? Oh, and BT Dubs, my friend replied to me while I was writing this email saying that she was still awake, so I worried about all of this for nothing. Story of my life.
You want to go first?
Well, I have a different relationship with texting because of my age.
Accurate.
And
is it the age?
It's got to be. I started late
because of my age.
So I looked like I view texting as kind of an extension of email, although more personal than email. Like email, I could send it any time of night. It doesn't
email
matter.
is anytime you want.
And then texting, I do extend it later than calling. Calling, I shut off at 5.
5?
Because I'm old school, like 5 o'clock, the work day.
You shut up and you degrease your hands and go home for supper with Mom and the kids.
I'll extend texting damn near 11 p.m. Like, I won't do it after midnight or,
me neither.
But
texting, I'm okay with text.
You send a text, you'll get it whenever, tomorrow. You know, I don't expect a reply now. It's kind of an open letter.
I'm with you. Email is every time, but the text sometimes, and I don't know why I am this way, and maybe it's just my anxiety, but texting to me feels like it requires an immediate answer. It is really hard for me, especially with like you guys. It would be very difficult for Sam to text me or you to text me. Now, I may not get it. That's different. But if I got it, it's going to be real hard for me to not, even on my watch, say something back. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like texting requires something more immediate, but I'm trying to get better at thinking that that's okay. Like, that it's okay to let it go. That's my own problem, right?
Yes.
Because, like, if you guys send me stuff, I don't think you requiring me, unless it's like, hey, if that were the case, you'd call me. There's been times when Sam and I are doing something in here where she's like, oh, the file, yada, yada. Well, there's a real problem. I have a feeling, and you'll call me, right? So if you send me a text, you guys are neither requiring something right then, or are you?
No.
I have recently texted Tom. I can't remember what it was about.
Did he reply?
And I did send an apology text. I'm like, sorry for bothering you so late.
Yeah.
And then he's like, Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Yeah.
What?
You could text me even if it's because if I'm sleeping, it's not going to wake me up.
Right.
Like my
'Cause you're
phone's
not on your
down.
phone.
My phone is always on silent.
Mine too.
I do put it like I didn't do this obviously because I don't even know how. But Crystal put my phone after 11:30.
Oh my
It
God.
goes
Get your
on
life together, man.
It goes on silent mode where it won't alert me until you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It won't even vibrate. It'll
Yeah.
receive it, but
Yeah,
you know, whatever.
it's just recording.
And that's fine. I mean, there's so many things you could set your phone to do whatever fits your lifestyle or whatever. So it's like I feel like it's their responsibility. You send the information because if you wait, then maybe it's always better. I feel like if you want to send me a text, send it. And then I'll
get to it when I get to it.
I'll get to it when I.
Now I've noticed that you have a different relationship with and it took me a while, and I don't know if other people are like me. It took me a while to fully understand this because a lot of things, like remember, how you react to things is on you, right?
Yeah.
So if I'm sending you things and you're not saying anything, you could take that as if, oh man, he doesn't but he's not a chirper, right? So it's fully okay for me to send you stuff. It's fine. You may want to read it real quick and download it, but you don't need to reply every time. And it took me, God, it's probably taken us our entire relationship, and I still am trying to wrap my brain around it.
Yeah, because
I'm not wired that way.
To you, if I don't respond or something, then it means like what?
But it doesn't mean
that.
No, but it doesn't mean that.
It's emotionally.
It absolutely does not mean that. In fact, you would probably prefer me to launch things just so you can download them, so you know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like if I'm like, hey, I'm going to, like this thing happened at the studio. You may not require a reply, but you probably still want to know, or maybe you don't. I don't know.
It's that's the thing. Is there's no emotion attached to it to me. Like
There's never emotion.
It's
with
a tool.
You, so.
It's just a tool.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
That makes sense.
I'll send stuff and then like I won't hear back or whatever. I won't assume the person is purposely doing it.
Right.
I'll assume that he's just too busy or something else.
Or message received.
Or yeah. So it's like I won't put any emotion toward what I imagine is going on with them because I'm like, who knows? Could be anything. There's no evidence here. Like the lack of response is no evidence to anger or any sort of.
And
emotion.
if it is,
nothing.
you're just creating that. Or at least I'm talking about me. Here's another one that Sam and I hate. I'm just gonna. Let's just go around the board. Let's do a couple things that I'll just throw a couple things I hate. One of them is not naming who it is in my family. Who will text? Call me. Don't do that. Don't text us at 10:30, 9:30, 8:30. Call me. Don't do that.
Don't text me at any time. Call me.
We've had enough.
Just let me know what's going on.
Yeah, we've had enough tragedy.
Or you call me.
I have had enough tragedy. You have certainly had enough. Certainly had enough. We've all certainly had enough death. We've had enough people like, when did that, what? Don't do that to your loved ones. Just call them.
Yeah.
Don't do the call me, because what it does to an anxiety person like me is it literally takes, I have an anxiety ball under my genitals. There's an anxiety ball. That when you text, call me, and I lift my phone, and it registers my face, and it shoots the text into my eyes, that makes me feel nauseous, and then it makes me warm, and I get hot from the center of my body, and it goes all the way up into my brain, and I feel like I'm going to fall down, and I start sweating.
Now,
don't do that to people.
I just thought of something because I don't do that to Daniel at all because I know it it causes this reaction.
Well,
I don't
it's usually bad news. It's usually this person died, this person
Just
crashed.
give a little context.
Mom's
of
in the
why
hospital.
I need to call
Dad's
you.
dead. I don't need any of that.
But now maybe in an effort to cure you from this.
Oh, you're just going to do it all the time?
Maybe if I do this all the time,
God.
it'll desensitize you. I'm like, I'll be like, hey! They'll be like, hey, dude, did you see? Like all caps, like a bunch of exclamation points, and then
I don't think that's how that works.
and then you're like, oh my God! And then, but every time it's nothing.
You're like, it's happening,
because that'll train you to desensitize
It'll train
yourself
me to never
from
believe
that.
you.
Yeah. Well, your first responsibility, it's nothing, and that's what you want. Instead of any sort of like, hey, give me a call. You're like, what happened? You do that when you walk in, and me and Sam were talking about something where
I'm like, what?
Or if you walk in mid conversation, and I'm like,
well, then Sam will be saying, well, that's not good, and I'll be like, what?
Yeah.
What's not good? What do you mean what's not good? What's happening?
And then we're literally talking about some TV show. Nothing.
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah.
Talking about Publix is out of lettuce.
I'm like, FOI Island got canceled.
Me and Sam have never had a serious conversation. Maybe one at Mellow Mushroom. Other than that, that's it. We only had one.
Then it's just silence.
Yeah. And I hope that we'll die having that one. And then we'll be it.
We'll die with one.
You'll finish it on the deathmatch. Finish that one conversation. The cycle is complete.
Yeah. But and then when it comes to like if anybody calls me at night, that is a cause for concern.
That's what I'm saying.
Like if you call
Just
someone,
call me.
if you call no, but if you call someone after 10, like if I have a
Oh my God, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
It's
Cut
an
to
emergency.
the chase. Let's just do it.
don't do that unless it is an emergency.
Right.
Because if I have missed calls, and now if I only have one missed call, I'll assume that it was a butt dial.
Right. What if you have two?
If I have more than 4, then someone
I'm
died.
freaking out.
Yeah.
Man, you wait till to get to 4?
No, because my phone is down. I'm just saying when I pick it up in the morning and I have 4 missed calls from, let's say, my sister, I'm like, mom died.
Yeah, oh my God.
Well, that's what I'll think. I'll be like, something horrible happened.
Yeah, you knew it would be. It's like a text message and 3 calls.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, man.
Yeah. And then
What's happening?
Now, usually, though, if someone calls you 4 times, and they'll usually send the
Wait a minute. What if I
horrible
start doing this to
information
you?
in a text.
Or leave a voicemail or something.
Will it help me if I reverse engineer it and start doing it back to you? What if I start calling you in the middle of the night and I'm like, she won't wake up?
No, I won't. Like to me, I'll downplay
What if
any
I
of
take
your
a picture?
emergencies.
What
Like
if
I know you enough for any emergency you have. I assume it's nothing.
Well,
first.
what if I've upgraded? What if I have Tony Photoshop like Andrea dead, like bludgeoned,
Oh my God.
and I send you that, and I'm like, oh my God, it finally happened, and it was like, would you be like, oh my God, or would you be like, yes, it's happened?
First thing I'd do is figure out how I call Bernie. Like, how do I move the money out of the account?
Wow, first thing, huh?
Because
Well, I killed Bernie,
I'm like
too. No.
the DA is going to freeze everything. Because they're gonna come investigate me. They're
You'd
like,
call
what
Tracy
happened?
first. I know you'd call Tracy.
And then since you
I'm
call,
in a deposition. I don't know.
yeah. I also know how detectives.
I knew this would
work.
happen one day.
Well,
like,
I had to
they're
get you
gonna-
involved,
they're
Sam,
gonna
and I'm
search your
sorry,
phone
but
records.
I buried her in your front yard.
No, Sam will narc at you immediately. She don't want that to do with it. But
And I'll see you on my cameras digging.
She's got cameras everywhere.
I live on a compound.
I'm not going to dig. I have Remy do it.
anyway.
Next email.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Cannabis advice. Hey, Tom, Dan, Sam. Big fan. My wife and I are going on vacation in a couple months to Maine, where cannabis is recreationally legal.
Oh, you're going to do that thing.
We live in South Carolina, where it isn't even medically legal. I have zero experience with weed, and my wife has only tried it once or twice in
Oh,
college.
you guys are going to get. Oh, you're going to have a freak out.
I got it.
I also don't drink, so I have no idea what sort of tolerance I have for anything like that.
Little baby. You
Except
little white
Percocet.
baby.
I love Percocet.
Oh, hold
I
on
mean,
a
I don't
second.
have a problem, but when I've had it prescribed, it's been great. My question
You have a
is,
problem.
what do I look for in an edible? How many milligrams? I'm just looking for something relaxing. Gummies, chocolates? Tell me. I'll hang up and
75
listen.
milligrams start.
Go to the dispensary.
Oh, man.
Buy as many edibles as you can
As
afford.
many as you can afford.
Then
Fill
Daniel's
the
right.
bags full of them.
Take a good 75 milligrams
Yeah.
first.
Don't
and,
go 100.
and then
'cause
if-
you'll just fall asleep.
And if it doesn't work within
35?
25
Okay,
35 minutes,
25.
take more. That is always the key to success.
It really is. And you know what? Here's another thing. Make sure you're out in public, because being around tons of people, I'm talking hundreds, usually calms people. It has a calming effect to see so many faces.
Do something you've never done.
Yeah, skydive.
Yeah. In a stressful environment.
Yeah. A small enclosed fly. You should be able to plane when this happens.
Figure out a way to give some sort of speech in front of a group.
Yeah, that's a good one. Give blood. Give blood.
The
Run, take your children to something. Take your children to the museum.
I guess it depends on how some people. My wife is super sensitive to all medicines.
Yeah, I
and-
made the mistake of having her take
She's got
one.
a lot of sensitivities,
She
apparently.
took
Yeah.
one, two. Well, he's no sensitive, and she's so sensitive. It's like Jack
my
Sprat.
God.
Jack Sprat could feel no fat. His wife could feel all the fat.
yeah. And
I got to work on that.
She so
She's not fat, by
I
the way.
remember
She's lovely.
I begged her to at least try some.
Take this edible and let's have sex. Is that what you said?
Some CBD. I was like,
that doesn't even. That's nothing.
I know. That's what I said. And
CBD.
I gave her some CBD, and then she was like, "I feel hot." Then she,
Oh my god!
She started.
You'd go to the hospital.
Yeah, no, she's like, "I feel hot. It makes me feel weird." And I'm like, "Oh God, you're square." I'm like,
You said you're square.
I'm like,
Do you think it's just in her head?
Yeah.
Yes, of course it is. Everything's in her head.
Give her a placebo and
Look
tell
at
her
me.
something
yeah.
else.
Look at me, Sam. Is everything in my head?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah. It's all in your head. and so
Cranberries knew it all along.
And then other people where you'll give them like a 10, 20 milligrams.
10 toilets. I don't want 10 toilets.
They'll take a 10 or 20 milligram of THC and it'll be like, it did nothing.
That's
I'm like,
me.
nothing?
Yeah.
I'm like, I will be riding the lightning on 20 milligrams.
I got to take 50
and I've been doing it for
straight.
I mean, I don't know how many years, 6 years.
Every
straight?
morning I wake up. Every morning I wake up, and just so I can hold my coffee mug under the Keurig, I take 50 milligrams.
Daniel can consume more than the average, I feel.
Yeah.
But to me, 10 milligrams will still be good. Like,
I'm like
even
that.
after this many, my tolerance didn't really change that much.
I'm like the Snake Master on Jackass, where I've gotten to a point where I can't even feel it anymore. If I bit you, I'd make you not high.
The reality is start slow and take,
give it a while.
Yeah, man. Take it easy. We were joking.
If you're doing edibles, give it, I would say at least 2 hours just to be sure.
I'm with Sam. Maybe
your first
3.
time and you don't drink or anything?
Maybe 3 hours, man.
And the smallest dose is usually 10 milligrams.
I've seen some fivers.
Five's the way to go.
But yeah, cut the 10 in half or do a 5. And Sam's right. Ride it out the whole day and see what it does.
Yeah.
To get the base, and understand that if you eat like heavily fatty foods or whatever,
cheese,
like it metabolizes in your liver.
You're gonna eat a big old pizza slice, and that thing's gonna hit you like a ton of bricks.
Yeah, and so any sort of oil or fat will actually intensify it, the effects of THC, because when you consume it is a little bit different than you smoke it, right? So some
shrimp tempura blow your mind.
Some people don't like eating it and only prefer smoking, and I am the opposite.
Yeah.
I prefer eating it.
Smoking is a little easier to control.
Yeah, because it's an instant high. Eating it may take a little longer. So start off small, do that. And then also...
And don't drive on it. Don't operate any machinery. Just, come on.
Don't drink beforehand.
Nope.
That's another mistake people do, because what it will do is it intensify...
Well, they don't drink, so...
Ah,
yeah,
perfect.
I think they're good. But I do think that they're little babies, and I think, man, you start with 5s, you're going to hurt yourself. So
some people...
No, I mean, like,
they don't feel anything.
I mean, if they go higher than that. You just go easy.
I've seen people where they seemingly babies, they don't drink that much or whatever, and it doesn't affect them. Yeah. It's like, I don't feel anything. I'm like, really?
I've seen some bigger guys where they're like, I took 100 milligrams and nothing happened. And I'm like...
Well, something's happening at 100. That's a huge dose. That's an overdose. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan, and we are not live from the Air T&D in beautiful, historic Sanford, Florida.
Yeah, so full disclosure, we looked at our schedule and we got Sanford Porch Fest coming up February 25th.
Indeed.
And we found out that we get to decorate our Air T&D because we're having acts on our porch.
And if there's one thing you know about us, we love decorating. We are the decorating guys.
Well, so then we're like, hey, we should measure for some custom banners and see what we can do.
Because nothing makes you look more like legit than a good old plastic banner hanging. Radio guys, podcaster guys, bands. I'm looking at you, Dom. Bands. Everyone knows that in order to be legit,
don't forget pop-up LLCs.
Yes, you need that. But in order to be legit, you need a big copper eye hole looped plastic banner to hang behind you
that you use one time, and then because you're drunk, you scrunch it up
crumple
into your car
it
when you
into
leave.
your truck,
and then you can never use it again.
Well, you do use it again. You get it out later, and then you look at it, and you're sad, and then you flip it over, and you put trash on it.
I can loan you our floppy guy too if you want to.
You have a floppy guy,
and then some fans like, "Hey, you used that banner before."
Right? Yeah, exactly. And
you're inflatable arm tube men. We got those.
Yeah, we got tube men.
We got 2 Tom and Dan.
I love those things, man.
We have a little one for me and a big one for Tom. I'm sure you've seen it. It's horribly disrespectful to me. I don't know who bought those, but whoever should be fired. But we don't have enough people to fire them that work with us.
They scared all the dogs at last year's Plains and Balls.
Did you know that?
Did you know that? Complaining.
We scared every dog because it would whip them in their snoots as they walked by. The little one. I have the little one, and mine goes a little faster than Tom's. Tom's is a little more traditional wacky inflatable flailing arm tubemen. Mine was just whipping those dogs in their snoots.
So, as you probably heard, since we are in Sanford and we had to be up here at the Air T&D,
But
anyway,
you forgot the code and we couldn't get in.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Can we talk
because
about
they
that?
change all the time.
Yeah, we forgot the code. We're standing out front.
Right.
This guy's yelling expletives. He had to call. He had to call the building manager.
No, it's
which is his
Crystal.
wife, to let us in. And then she's yelling at him. Then she hung up in his face, and then he.
Because I'm like, what's the code? And she's like,
It's your anniversary.
She hung up right in his face, and then he's like, "God, Christ, you're gonna hang up in my goddamn face."
don't say it on the air because she didn't hear that part.
I'm sorry, I'll cut that out.
No, well, because
He's like, that's how you're gonna play. You're gonna hang up in my goddamn face.
because she gets aggravated at me, and I'm like, I can't hear. Your phone broke up twice, and then she hangs up on my face,
And then
I'm like, it's not my
crying.
fault.
Samantha was crying. She
know
just
what
got
to
a
do?
free ride to Sanford.
You know what to do, right?
What?
Hold out on her at home. Say nope.
My God, you blew Sam's wig off.
Paul, what kind of reality do you live in? Hold out on her.
You're
Do you
not
think
touching this, girl. Hanging up on me.
That would be a benefit. Anyway, Sanford 3 are here. How you guys doing?
Hey, the 3, they're here.
Better get your mind right, honey, if you're going to come back here.
That does not work.
This is totally fancy.
The whole
that
time he
works
was
for
saying
me.
that, I just went, the whole time.
I feel like that may work for the new one in the future,
Yeah.
but not the old one. The old one that.
Are we discussing you getting a new iPhone right now?
No, I'm just saying. For the old
Wait
one
till
that-
he calls. Wait till he calls his new girlfriend with a tattoo on her breast to get the code. Because you're going to get one of those, right? You're
well,
going to get
she's not smart enough
You're
to
going to get a
manage this
loose.
place.
He's going to start dating loose biker women with tattoos on their breasts.
Yeah, no,
That's what you want.
Leave the
You
door
want
open.
yeah, he wants to sell
You
a
don't even
good
need a
old
lock.
black hammock. He wants a good old black hammock biker gunch face.
Yeah. Well, I got to go
Yeah.
deep in the well of the old radio hags.
Yeah,
Because
you get yourself a premium jean short wearing radio hag. Oh. Chef's kiss.
Because the new podcast listeners, they're going to be mad at me. They're
Well, the
gonna be
new
like, "You like-
podcast listeners are
Crystal
just
was right
old
about
radio
you."
listeners. You know, podcasting is just radio now. We worked so hard to be the future, and then it just kind of we fell back into what we're
Well,
doing.
the future's TikTok. What are we supposed to do?
I can't do the TikTok, man. I'm sorry. You guys on TikTok?
How much cocaine do you think people do on this table?
Oh, lots. And there's tons of ejaculate.
No, you can't say that. Stop.
Tons.
No, look at the reviews. All the place is clean.
It's premium.
I looked at the reviews. All 5 stars.
Mountains of ejaculate.
No.
This
Look,
is
I know this place
this
is
is
clean.
definitely
I use the same cleaning lady
Yeah,
that they
Paul
use for
knows.
the Air T&D.
Exactly.
This place is immaculate.
this is a primo cocaine
who's
table.
here?
Oh, someo's here. Oh, let's.
It's-
Oh, it's your wife.
Oh my god, she's serving me on the air. I knew this would happen.
my alarm to get the 1099.
Oh, our cleaning lady. Okay, here's a true story. Our cleaning lady hid her 1099 somewhere in here, and we have to find it. It's like the world's worst and redneck escape room.
So
Sounds fun.
how you guys doing?
How are you doing?
It was this was easy for you guys because
Yeah.
West End is literally
Yeah.
walking.
You guys
distance.
smoke a joint, get in a golf cart, shoot over.
On the way here.
Okay, all right.
I mean, you don't even have really time. It's right there. I could throw a baseball.
To get to the golf cart was further than to get here.
Correct. Yes.
I was about to say you guys drove your golf
Yeah.
cart
The
here, but
length
it's
of your golf cart is here.
Well, we had to get on the second one because the first one wouldn't run. So
Oh, really?
That's why we were 2 minutes late.
So, speaking of wacky inflatable arm tube men scaring the dogs at Pints and Paws, Pints and Paws.
Let's talk about Pints and Paws.
It's coming up here, and it's going to be after the Porch Fest. But even before that, what do you guys got going on coming up in February?
Our next big event is Mardi Gras.
Okay.
February 18th. We got the Sachet going at 4:30 is when we usually start the parade. Sachet down
Sachet.
Sanford Ave. It actually starts right here by your guys' Air T&D is where the
Okay.
Sachet starts.
Okay.
All right.
And then it goes
Can it
all
be
the way
the
down
T&D starting? Like we're gonna have to get another banner. Get your.
If you
yeah,
guys
definitely
wanna-
going to need a banner.
We need a banner
Do one
for
of
that.
our golf carts and be in the little.
I don't know,
parades.
maybe the
it's
Tom
actually
and-
really fun.
I think maybe the Tom
yeah.
and Dan golf cart?
Yeah.
That would be
I will drive
convenient.
it.
Yeah.
Maybe me and Tracy could drive it or something.
I would love to.
Oh, wait, aren't
but
we on
we're
a-
going to be miserable in the woods.
Oh, yeah, I'm camping.
for my
Oh.
birthday weekend.
I can't do it.
Yeah. We
Wow,
decided.
that sounds fun.
It's, every year.
My phone must be broken.
I question it.
Yeah.
It's just like,
and now we
am
don't
I
even camp.
camping,
Now
guys?
they just pull all of our trash into a field, and then we sit there with our families for like 2 days, and then we just take all the trash home.
Yeah. Like, because
There you go.
If I really ask myself, like, which would I rather do? Be in the parade at the Mardi Gras celebration here in Sanford,
Yeah, drinking an ice cold beverage,
Where's
waving to the people, looking for a fresh
toilet.
Yeah, we got.
Well, there's no toilets. Well, there's porta potties nowadays, but there's more. It's
Oh, is that?
Yeah,
don't
no,
rely
you're
on
fine.
limits.
No, it's fine. I'm just making notes.
So we got Mardi Gras now. Let me ask you about Mardi Gras.
Okay, Mardi Gras is great. It's family friendly.
Yes.
The little parade the kids love. It's only like 5 blocks long, and then we have live music, and it's all outside, and there's bands and food trucks and stuff, and there's the New Orleans food, and then you got all
Second
the
line Zydeco.
Yeah, you got the second line that plays for a while, and then we have just a cover band that comes and plays for a while. But it's a good time. Like it's a good family-friendly event with a kids zone.
Yep, it's like
Okay.
it's like
Did you
an
hear that?
escalated food truck event. Like we do the big food truck events. It's very similar to one of those, except for that we've got the live music, we've got the kids zone, we've got the parade.
A lot of purple, a lot of yellow,
And
some
then we
green.
raise some money for Meals on Wheels. That's
Yep.
what we're doing here.
Okay, awesome. And because I was going to ask you the family friendly
Food trucks are, in fact, Meals on Wheels.
They are.
They are very much so.
Ties in perfectly.
Yeah.
Get a banner for that too.
because normally in regular Mardi Gras, I mean, girls show their teeth.
I was gonna
for the
say,
beads.
like, I think that's why.
I think that's done now with cell phones.
This
like
is
they don't do
this
that.
is a family-friendly
Yeah.
Mardi
That's
Gras
why
party.
Paul jumped in quickly to say it was a family-friendly Mardi Gras, because I think he felt that you, being a consummate pervert, would bring up. Yeah, come on, man. What are you trying to do?
No, I'm just saying. We're a public service announcement that don't flash your teeth
Don't.
at the golf carts.
Don't
driving
do it.
by.
I dated a girl who liked doing that. Have you guys ever dated somebody who liked? She liked flashing, and it
Absolutely.
really bothered me. That's
Oh,
where I
come on.
I
learned
think it would have
that
bothered me too.
I was very insecure.
Is it a prude?
I was very no. I didn't. No. I'm not
Why?
against it. It just made me insecure as her boyfriend. I was like, well, that's for me. And like when you're showing it to everybody, it makes me sad.
When you're watching Jeopardy and the guy says, "Yes, 2 T's," do you ever giggle a little
Yeah,
bit?
I do. Absolutely.
Yes, 3
Excellent
T's.
comment,
Whoa,
Dom.
3 T's. All
Only thing
right.
Dom said on the show. I like that. I support that, Dom.
So Mardi
Sorry.
Gras is coming up February 18th, and then after that is the next big event, Pints and Paul's in March.
Nope, we got
Oh.
St. Patrick's Day, the truck pull too.
Yeah,
The
St.
truck
Patrick's Day.
pull?
The fire truck pull. We got
The St. Patrick's Day fire truck pull. What is that?
Okay, every St. Patty's or this Saturday closest to, we get the city comes out, the fire department mans the truck, and teams of 10 pull the truck. I think it's 100 feet.
yeah, it's 100 feet.
100 feet.
Oh, I wanna
And,
see that.
Whoever pulls it the fastest wins.
Really?
Yeah,
So
that's a lot of fun.
So usually there's one of the fire departments from around here wins, but this year we're having a just fire department
Okay, their division,
and then a mortal
Big Fat Slobs.
division.
Yeah. Oh my God, we need a team of slobs. We need Izzy in the back, and we
Hold
just
on.
get him moving, and that truck will move.
how many people does it take to pull a
10.
fire truck?
10.
10?
Yeah.
And
You're not listening.
Well, how fast? I mean, it's not full of water. I'm sure they have to.
No, it's just a full fire truck.
Yeah.
like
Fire trucks aren't full of water; they plug into a hydrant for that.
No, they're full of water.
Man, you're ruining my dreams.
Yeah, no,
I
they're
thought the whole
definitely full
truck
of
was
water.
filled with water.
Oh, yeah.
I literally
we tried
thought-
pulling one full of water once, and it
Since
was
I-
they
not
do hold
successful.
water.
they
Yeah,
said
yeah.
they hold a little
Oh,
bit.
Since I was
No,
a child, I thought it was just a shell of red, and inside all water.
I mean, yeah, they use the fire hydrant, but there's some like emergency reserve in case
Just
there's
in
no.
case.
Yeah, it's just like a couple
Makes sense.
squirts.
Yeah.
to call in right now.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
no call-in line here.
Yeah.
Call my cell phone. I'll put you on.
There's no video either, so now I don't have to worry about.
You
what
are
my
actually on
names
video. You are on video.
There's enough for car fires on I-4 and that kind of thing. You spread off.
If a bum, he's like his crack pipe catches his blanket on fire, you blow his hat off.
Kind of chemical, like some kind of
Like a fire extinguisher.
Oh, the dust.
right.
A
Yeah,
flame retardant.
Yeah.
I can't say that.
You cannot say flame retardant. You're supposed to say special flame. You know that. You're supposed to say special flames.
God damn it. So
The F word. No, wait. You can't say that either.
how many years has the St. Patrick's Day fire truck pool been going on?
5.
I think it's six years.
I've
but we
never
haven't
heard
had
of
it.
it. You guys do so many events that you'll be like, yeah, it's our 23rd annual, and I'm like, what? I never heard of it.
I just make up numbers every year. I don't know.
I would
18?
love to come to this. So I want to see these guys compete. Yeah, that's cool, man.
Okay.
That's a feat. You love that because you love feats of strength.
So let me ask you guys. I mean, with the amount of events, because like even with the rescheduled Sofas and Suds, I looked around and I'm like, man, there may be a record number of people here at this Sofas and Suds.
It was
like,
massive.
I think so.
And I expected it to be less because
I
the
did too.
rescheduled people are used to it. The weekend before Thanksgiving.
I thought their reschedule would kill it because I thought people really like to bounce from the beer fest into the other event.
Yeah,
But man,
and-
it was a sea of humans.
And then it dawned on me, I'm like, I think you guys and the city of Sanford have trained everybody around here and from Sanford to just gravitate towards here for every weekend.
If they hear
That's
reggae,
right. There's a certain amount of what we've done here that people just come down on the weekends knowing that there's going to be something.
It's wandering.
And they just go to whatever events
You
going
West
on.
End wander.
And they wander around and
and there's gonna be
Something.
some sort of street event, something going on that you could see.
At the
like-
very least, there will be one old man at a tent selling some garbage. At the very least, I promise that. That's a Dan Dennis promise.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you come to Sanford, near West End, there will be some old man at a tent selling some garbage.
selling rainbow-colored wallets.
Yeah, I promise that.
and
tie-dye shirts.
Yeah.
because
All this. I love that stuff.
Because I heard from, because we're involved and we got, like we mentioned at the beginning, at the Sanford Porch Fest, we got some acts here at the AirT&D, and they told me that last year they had 22,000 people come in from all around for the Porch Fest. I was like, that is insane. And
That's a lot of humans.
And then it makes sense that he's even going to be bigger because this year, because people are trained to come every
They're
single
also
weekend.
pissed up.
That's the other cool thing. If you really sit back and watch at one of the events, you'll see like waves of people come. You might only have, say you only have like 5,000 there at one time. You've probably seen 15 to 20,000 people throughout that day because they just come in waves of hundreds and hundreds and then leave.
That's how we judge it. Is basically by the hours. When you look at each street, as so many. If that's full, that's so many people, and then every hour, as full as it is, you would just kind of accumulate that, and that's how we judge how many people come out there.
So I know we've talked about this before, but even last year when we were looking at this AirT&D and we were talking about this and we were looking at all the growth and the people building stuff around here and like the parking lots and the housing that is being built, and like, is there any new projects going on now that because there are tons of new stuff coming up all the time, right?
There's like up and down. Any available spot is being either developed or looking to be developed. There's not going to be an inch of unearthed dirt in this town.
Does that scare some people, though? I mean, there's got to be some pushback on that, right?
There is. There's we regularly, and we have been dealing with this for years. There's a certain amount of people that maybe that have been living here for generations that don't like to see all the growth, and that's
I don't like your reggae music.
Sure,
I don't like your chicken with a joint.
there is some of that. That's anywhere though. That's just...
Yeah. I mean, with change, people resist change, and they want it the way it used to be. Although I can't imagine many want it to not grow and prosper and new things pop up.
I would say 95% enjoys watching it. I think, in most of it could be young versus old.
Yeah, and that always
once
happens.
you get old, you don't want to have to put up with all that kind of stuff. And
you want things the same.
Sure,
exactly.
You don't want any more traffic. You like being able to go to Betty Ann's hair studio and pulling right up front and getting your blowout or whatever. And when your small town starts growing, that stuff doesn't happen anymore.
It scares you.
So let's speak of something I saw in an Orlando Sentinel article. And then people are razzing
we
me.
got Scott Maxwell over here.
Well, I saw about let's talk about the joint. And Hollaback's installation in the West End. And, let's...
Dude, we love them, man. We've been friends with them since the day we opened.
Yeah.
If it weren't for Hollerbacks, we probably wouldn't have made it through the first 18 months of business. It was basically their staff after work coming and supporting West End. That was when nothing was down here except for Hollerbacks.
Yeah.
So we've always worked together and tried to do things together, and then all of a sudden this opportunity really creeps up on us where, hey, we can actually be in business together. You guys do what you guys they're wonderful
it's
with
drinks,
food,
right? Like you
And
guys
then
are
we
wonderful with drinks. Yeah,
and then we can concentrate on events and drinks
Yep.
and just doing the entertainment side of things. And it's going to be awesome. They're going to do upscale, bar food is what we're doing. Like, the wings that we used to do, and then adding sliders and nachos and things like that. The menu is
the menu looks dope. It looks.
We did the test last week, and it was amazing. Everything is very, very tasty, and it is definitely stepped up bar food.
Yeah. And I think you guys needed that. Not that
I agree.
but I think like what I mean by needed it is taking it out of your hands, because I know sometimes when Tom and I take something that we're not good at out of our hands, not that you guys weren't good at it, but just going to the best.
This is the model we've been working. This is the same thing we did at Celery City when we put in Sushi and Soul.
Oh man, that's so good.
We want an elevated food for our customers so we can concentrate on entertainment and drink.
Yeah, so say about Wild West, and we got Taco de Madre over there.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
When it's all said and done, this whole West End complex is going to consist of Taco and Madre, and in the back of Wild West, in the kitchen that we're building out there. Then in between where Old Moons will be Hot Asian Buns, and then the joint inside West End. So it'll essentially be like a little food court for those three.
That's awesome.
Food places.
I also like that it's not as connected as your traditional food court. Because some of those, like, I've never seen one of those, no offense to them, but I've never seen one of those that actually really works the way they want it to work. I think yours will work because of the distance, because you do want to be in an individual bar. You don't necessarily want to be in, like, a mall food court. I don't know what it is about that, but I've never seen one that works.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's...
But this makes sense to me, like, where you would go to each spot, but you know that there's an installation of food there that's going to be upscale. That's a good
we
idea.
also have the shared courtyard now, too. So you've got this nice, easy-to-access shared food court between all of it.
It's amazing what you guys have built, and like I said before, every single weekend there's an event at Sanford, and even looking in the next 6 weekends, there's something going on every single weekend. And obviously, that's why we have this AirT&D, and we open up booking for the next year too. Yep. So if you're looking at upcoming weekends, check to see if this is booked or not.
Yeah, are you booked for the film festival yet?
I don't.
Which film festival? See, this is
Love Your Shorts Film Festival. Next weekend.
They didn't run a couch, and I asked about them.
Dude, it's fun. I sponsor it every year.
They've been doing that for
it's a good time, man. It's a really good time, actually.
And that's
Love Your Shorts Film Festival.
Theater.
That's at the theater. Yeah,
it's like Christina Hollerbach is
they do
president of.
They do like a block for every genre, and then on Sunday they do the best of. It's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday deal. It's fun.
That's cool, man. And it's been going for forever.
Yeah. And and we're mentioning stuff like events that you guys are putting on.
How detailed do you want to get? I mean, you get down in here and start digging into Sanford. There's literally things you can do at all hours.
Yeah. Well, guys, we appreciate it. Of course,
this was cool. I kind of like coming to the AirT&D to do the.
I know
the thing.
Well, the Sanford 3 love it because it's a walk here.
I like it. Yeah, I kind of dig it.
But we also the freezer. I guess they left it open, so we had to clean out all the.
Somebody in there Sprite exploded, and then there were some rotten peas in there.
We had frozen peas.
No, I was going to give them to you, but they were rotten.
I got to charge the Ring doorbell. That's all.
Yeah, and did you guys know we had to put in a larger toilet because our listeners have big beeholes?
Yeah, but guess what? No one's called us and said that clogged the toilet. And so it's worked.
We did it right. We got that one. If you go to Lowe's, you'll see it. It's got a cardboard cutout that sticks in the hole, and it says can flush up to 8 full-size billiard balls. That's the one we got. Have you seen that?
That's impressive.
It is really impressive. Like, when you think about that.
Is there anybody in this room that's not thinking about how painful it would be to crap out a bunch of billiard balls?
Because we need something to talk about next time we come here. We'll drive up here if you guys will supply us with 8 standard-sized billiard balls.
I'll just get them right
and
now.
Let's give it a roll.
The 100-year-old plumbing.
I mean, look, I'm the entertainment arm of what we do here. I'm just supposed to look for show
That's not your problem. That's the property manager's problem.
The plumbing was running in the 1800s.
You just abandoned hope at the city of Sanford. She'll be by in the next couple
got
hours
a guy
to talk
that
to
can
you.
get under there and fish them out or something. Right?
Someone pooped out 8 perfectly good billiard balls.
Look, if I know something, like, I know there's some unfortunate here with missing an arm or something that can get under this house and dig those balls out.
Tell me this. Do you guys provide the service if someone does clog the toilet? Do one
No.
of you show up?
No,
one
we
shows
do not.
up.
No.
We were like, someone will be there soon. And that's all we say. No one comes. What do they have to handle yourself?
Yeah,
I'm glad I haven't gotten that message from you.
Yeah, no one comes.
All right. If you want to book the Air T&D, you can go to bookairtnd.com.
Yeah, there you go. Think about it. 8 billiard balls flushing power.
And drink at westin.com for all the events.
Amazing drinks. Try the new kitchen, the joint.
Yeah, and follow. I know that on social media, Historic Sanford always posts every single event that's going on here.
Yeah.
I know I follow them, and then it's an easy resource for all the events going on in Sanford.
Indeed.
All right, we will be right back. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha, our producer's here. Hello, Sam.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
A little spicy today. What's going on? What's wrong? Something's wrong.
What was spicy about that, Tom?
I don't know.
Why does he do this to me?
Well, why would you ask the guy that doesn't know?
Just
he
blow
doesn't.
past
He
it.
doesn't recognize anything. He can't feel. And then, like, I feel everything, and I felt something there.
There's
men in here. Yeah. Oh, I thought some men in here.
So we've got two guests that are going to be performing on Saturday,
Yes.
right? February 4th.
Yes, sir.
Laugh Out Lounge in Winter Haven.
That's a good name, the
That is
Laugh
a good
Out
name.
Lounge. It's hard to say for me though, because I'm, a broadcaster.
Shane Hartline, Luke Knoll are here. Of course, we've talked to Shane multiple times. We've watched Shane.
We've watched him grow
the
up.
beginning of his career.
I was there. I don't know if you know
You
this.
fathered me.
I was there when you were born.
Yeah.
I was in the room as you were being delivered.
Yeah, you helped me out.
Yeah, I did. I really did help you out physically.
I'm going to tell my sons one day, and they're never going to listen.
That
but,
Shane Hartline is Chris Pratt.
No, I've seen because everybody talks about people. If you work hard enough at something you really want to do in life,
Yeah, but you
you'll
don't
get
believe
there.
in that.
No, well, I didn't believe when I was young.
There's
I thought
only
it
one.
was,
Truly,
you know
we've had
why?
these conversations. There's only one person we believe about this, and it's you.
Wow.
No, seriously, we've
let's
had
talk
these,
about this.
we've had discussions where we're like hustlers, they'll never win, because they don't have the talent thing, and then we're like, this is not going to work.
Well,
It
when
works
you're
for
young,
Shane.
You don't need talent.
well, when you're young, adults tell you they're like, "Oh, if you work hard enough at it, you could achieve your goal, whatever."
Yeah, you can be president.
And then when you're young, at least I felt this way. I was like, man, it seems impossible.
Too hard.
Is that real? Because people tell you all these cliches all the time, and then they end up not being real. But then when you get older, you look back at people working towards their dream and then accomplishing it, and you're like, oh, it does work. Which
Not bad. Not
you're like,
bad.
you can do it.
Every once in a while it works.
Yeah.
It
But
depends
then-
on the dream. Yeah.
But then a lot of times it doesn't work, and I've seen people, but they never work as hard as the people that actually make it. And then I'm like, well, what is it? Is it the hard work? Is it the talent? Is it
Maybe it's a combination of both. Write that down.
Write that down.
Yeah, write that down too.
So anyway, I want to talk about how you guys met and started, performing together and all that.
It was a key party.
Okay.
Tom's into that.
Yeah, let's talk about
He's
key
intrigued.
parties.
Yeah.
Does that?
I've never been to one.
I feel
Because
like
I'm
they-
old.
We bonded because we both drove four-wheelers there, and so when we were dropping our key in the bowl, I was like, is that a four-wheeler?
This is Tom's dream.
Yeah. My God, this sounds like how you grew up.
More keys should be like four-wheeler keys where they have like a nub or.
I love a good nub. It's got to have a guzet.
Yeah, it's like a kill switch that if you fly off, it's attached to your belt or whatever.
Yeah,
so
it's to keep grit out of there, right? The guzet is to keep the sand from getting in there.
If you use the kill switch, I look down on you and I call you a P word.
You want to keep that thing going off without you.
But if you swim to shore and you have a day glow fluorescent, little stretchy thing and a jet ski key,
right?
I think you're great.
A jet ski kill switch you have to have, I think, because you'll die. It'll keep driving.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you will die. It'll just kill someone else.
Yeah, it'll kill someone else.
Yeah, which is fine with me.
It'll leave you out wherever DJ Khaled was that time that he got lost out of the. A
lot of
did that happen?
rappers.
He got lost on a jet ski in the dark.
Oh,
in the ocean.
Too bad they found him.
Yeah.
They found
A
him,
lot
unfortunately.
of rappers.
Is he still delivering wings, or is that somebody else?
We can only
on
hope.
jet skis.
I thought he doesn't deliver wings, if you know what I mean.
Like,
He's not that kind of guy.
Oh yeah, he doesn't do that.
Yeah, he doesn't
Yeah.
do that.
Is that what you call it? Delivering wings?
You don't,
No.
you don't call it that?
No, my wife calls it that.
Yeah, I didn't know you were married.
Yeah, I love it. I love love.
Me too.
I love love. Love wins.
Congratulations.
I promise we'll get back on track, but let's talk about jet skis for a second.
We're the tangent show, by the way, guys. This is going to be weird.
I love it.
This is going to be
Where
weird.
my
all
brain
aboard.
always lives.
We're the tangent show.
Because jet skis are super dangerous.
Yes.
They're
They're motorcycles
They
for...
destroy your balls too.
They do.
But
They do.
also
They're motorcycles for fatter hip-hop guys. Because remember, Sean Kingston almost died.
Yeah.
That mother...
That
oh
girl
my...
was way too beautiful, and I believe he almost he was
I think he's
suicidal.
different. I think he's different now, right?
Was it?
Yeah, I was hoping you were going to.
I'm going along, but then I was like also thinking about. I think he's different. I think he's like unfortunate
Well,
now. If you know what I mean?
Not only have like rappers been injured on jet skis,
tons
but,
of them.
rappers kid was it?
Do you know
Nelly's
that
kid?
the
Whose
last
kid
time
died on a jet ski?
Oh, don't talk
in
about
Miami?
that.
Oh,
It was
boy.
Chamillionaire's child.
Anyway, problem with jet skis, if you're out in the middle of the ocean, you're relatively fine. Around nothing else, worst case scenario, you fall off, whatever. But that's not where people ride jet skis.
No.
They ride them
Lakes.
around
Where there's
other
12 feet between the banks.
around other boats or
Over
near,
kids.
Oh near their mansion and their dock.
Yeah.
And then with jet
You go
skis,
near the beach so you can high five your bros.
Exactly.
You have no training. You get on there, you're drunk, and then
Training is there jet ski training?
you have
Yeah, some guy with a rat tail goes, "Have fun. You get it for 30 minutes."
an insane amount of horsepower. But when you let off the gas and panic, and then turn the steering wheel,
nothing happens.
It does not turn because it turns by the propulsion of water.
Well, let me
so
throw
you
something out
panic,
there.
and then you just stand frozen, and then you ram the dock.
Let
as
me
hard
throw
as
something
poor
out
boat
there.
or people.
I'm no genius,
Yeah.
but I do love DJ Khaled and Sean Kingston.
We know.
Why not put a fin in there that it's always like that deploys in some way? Why not put a safety device? I'm serious about this. So when the engine cuts off, or when you're not giving it any gas and you're just going, where if you do turn, it's let's put a little rudder on it. Let's not be idiots. We can. I have an electric car, for Christ's sake. There are people that flying around in space. There's Bezos who are flying to the moon.
I think you're asking way too much
You
here.
can't put a tiny fin in there. So when
no
it
fin.
okay.
So that went, I remember doing it in riding a jet ski with my now wife in Lake Michigan off of Chicago. So you only have like 30 minutes a year where you can do that without freezing to death.
And even then, it's still cold, right?
It's still not fun. Like,
Yeah.
you don't want to be in the water. But like it's fun to ride a jet ski around. But I remember she's behind me, like just clutching on for dear life, like onto my hips as I'm going. And I'm like, I was kind of giving her crap about it, where I'm like, you can loosen up. I mean, I'm flying around, right? And she goes, how about we switch and you hold on to me and I drive?
Oh, that's packing.
no.
You can't do that.
And so I was like, all right. I mean, I got to, she was on the other foot. I got to give this a try. And I'm like, she's totally right. You feel so powerless and like you're going to die at any point. Just I'm holding on to her. And then, of course, she slows down, jerks the wheel like 90-degree angle, and then guns it. Immediately we shoot into the water. I flip the thing over.
I had that happen one time. So my parents live by Legoland in Winter Haven,
Wow.
right next to on the
This
lake.
is a plug for Legoland.
We are sponsored by
Legoland.
our comedy tour is sponsored by Legoland.
That's awesome.
No, but we live on the lake where Legoland is, so we could literally take our jet skis, drive up to the barricade, and watch the ski show and all that stuff. So I did.
Oh my God! I would
did
love
that.
to do. That's so redneck to sit there and steal the ski show with a beer.
Oh yeah.
You can shoot at them too.
So one time I did it on a jet ski with the girl I was with at the time, and that happened. We tried to switch seats, and we both flipped. Now, little did we know, and I'm glad I didn't know this at the time, but the barricade that separates you from getting into Legoland and the open lake are these tires. But it's notorious, and I didn't know this at the time, that there's snakes just filled in these tires.
Snakes
They
on
do that.
tires.
They do that deliberately. They do that. Lego. I don't know if you know this,
They
but the
stopped-
owners of Lego show are they're coming. They're evil.
They're like, yeah.
Hey, Jim, did you stock the snake tires today?
Put the snakes in the tires to keep out the
snakes are low, Jim.
They're stealing the ski show.
So you knock the snake tires, and then they just. What kind of snakes?
Everything.
I didn't see them, and I'm so glad I didn't.
Not
see them.
like all the snakes. The chat room is melting down. The chat room is just screaming, "Croquet head hit guy."
From Tooth Fairy 2. They've looked up Shane's IMDb at this point.
Yeah.
Wait, why of all my credits?
That's the one they love.
Yeah, that's the one
I'm
they
in
like.
Star Wars.
Yeah, but it's funnier to say croquet hit.
I'm in some good stuff.
Yeah, chat. How about you? IMDb. My name is Matthew Broderick,
and that's the credit.
I was in Godzilla 2000.
So
best Godzilla movie ever.
Okay, back to
only Godzilla.
A lot of the chat room
start working together.
Well, a lot of the chat room doesn't even know that Luke was on SNL. But
hey, chat.
but I'm sure it's the one thing that where you go places, people are like, "All right,
you're on SNL."
SNL. And it's
Yes.
like, well, I mean, they're on a comedy tour together. I'm sure they'd rather talk about that. And
No.
how they came
It's a
together.
part of the
You know
journey.
what we should talk about, actually, about the comedy tour, and this is specifically for the chat, is that if you come to our show, we do something.
Oh, wait, are you going to do this?
way
Are you going to do
different.
this now? We're breaking something.
I want to break some. This is breaking news. So many comedians, when they do a tour, they sell merch. They'll give out, they'll do something for the people, right? That come out to the show.
Yes.
We like to do that too, but we've been doing this. Every city that we go to, one lucky audience member, we have a special gift for, and that's the gift of life.
All right.
And that means we are willing, and we like to lead up top with this at the show. We will get one audience member, if you're lucky, and we need to limit it to one. We will get one audience member pregnant.
And I know what you're thinking.
But this is not. We're not going to physically make love to.
There's
this
no
person.
physical contact.
No. So we'll simply give you a Dixie cup filled with sample.
Okay.
Our sample.
Both of ours.
A mixture, if you will.
A mixture. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking,
Luke, how do you know whose is whose?
well, his is your traditional sample. Mine's more like a Nickelodeon orange, so you can always kind of tell.
You can always tell the difference.
Love it.
But we mix it up kind of Orange Dreamsicle style. And we know that we're going to hit a lot of cities, so we've prepared over the last 3 or 4 months or so to get enough Dixie cups of sample.
I have one more question, Luke.
Sure.
How do I know that this is fresh?
It's not. That's why we have to microwave it before the show to make sure that it's piping hot for it.
Piping hot.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound pleasant.
You're freaking me out.
So, ladies and gentlemen,
I don't know where you're going. I think I know why it was one season. Like, oh my god,
ladies and gentlemen,
like Lord Michaels is like he's in here with the.
You literally left Tom speechless, and that is hard to do.
Man is here.
You can't say that.
it's sample.
It's sample.
I thought we were doing this uncensored.
No,
We can?
no, we're gonna air it.
Oh, well,
we don't have
then you
anything
better
for Friday.
then you better call KC because I'm spicy.
No.
But no, if that doesn't entice you to come to our comedy shows, I don't know
what will.
Yeah.
I like that.
A very CK.
That was a classic CK.
And again, you can do with the Dixie cup whatever you want.
Yeah, you can keep the cup.
You can keep the cup.
Cups are, people reuse cups now.
And we don't know how you get it in there. That's kind of your.
That's on you.
That's your thing.
But where did you guys start? Like,
how did you meet?
with this tour? As far as like,
You're a Chicago guy.
Mm-hmm.
I know where you're from. You're an LA guy now.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you guys meet up and like connect to decide to tour around?
You want to take this, Luke?
So we both live in LA now.
Yeah.
Oh, you live in LA. Great.
I'm out, ever since I got canned from SNL, I moved to LA, which that's what you got to do.
What a cool thing, though, to say, I think.
Top of the mountain.
I think going to SNL for one season and then being out.
Get in and get out. I hear it's miserable,
I think
honestly.
I think that's almost
It's pretty cutthroat, right? Yeah.
Let me ask you this, because I've been sitting on this question like the whole time that I knew you, and even when I knew you guys had started touring together, I knew you'd been on there one season, and I knew that you'd always, since I'd always known you as a little bitty baby boy, he's like, SNL, SNL. Here's my reel. Updated the reel, made the reel better. Reel is like every year, more impressions, added to it. Here it is.
too many tapes.
Did it change your opinion when you've been able to like tour with a guy who's been there, seen it, and done it?
Well, I don't know if you know this though. I auditioned.
Yeah, I know you auditioned, but I mean, like
But being with somebody that's
Right.
I've heard hands-on the experience. In what way do you mean did it change?
Well, like because like I feel like most of the people that have come through here, at least, I think I can say this, that have been on there and not been anymore, and not necessarily a firing. Maybe they left on their own will. Who have we had?
There's a lot of one and done.
We've had Chris Red. We've had
Love Chris. I got hired the same year as Chris.
Yeah. We've had
Jay Farrow.
God,
there's been
the other guy. I'm blanking on him. Black guy. God bless it. Finesse. We had Finesse.
Yeah.
I mean, John Lovitz.
Yeah, and his dog. We had
And his dog.
Yeah, his dog got hair everywhere.
You don't count
His
him?
dog was only there one season.
That's right.
Well,
he was fired.
The different,
just the dog.
The different generations of SNL, and by generation I even mean about like 10 years. I feel it changed.
But they don't really gush about it. Is
everything's
my point.
different though.
It's not like they come in here and they're like, well, maybe Lovitz, but everybody else was like, it was good, but holy
hard as hell.
crap, it was a mess. It was grueling, and I'm glad that I'm able to be
It's very
myself
clicky.
now.
People are afraid to talk about it, especially like someone like Chris or someone who is still there. Or whatever.
Sure,
He's not.
yeah.
but
I'm not saying to badmouth it, but I just I think it's hard.
But they are so afraid to say anything that can be misconstrued as not glowingly positive because Big Daddy Lorne has the ability to snap his fingers and just end you
For sure.
everywhere. You know,
That is
a lot of power.
It's a lot.
It's still interesting that he has so much of a say.
Yeah.
Even though that the times have changed.
Well, it's never changed in my lifetime. At 46, if I look at it, SNL to me, I remember like it was one of my favorite shows. I'm a Conan guy. That's how I grew up. That's just my generation of being 46 at this time.
Yeah.
When I look at it, like there's no such thing as Saturday Night Live without Lorne Michaels. That's the and I think I'll die with it being that way.
Other than the Dick Ebersol years,
Right, correct. And he was doing another show, right, at that time, and that's why they pulled him back. Or
So, imagine if you're the CEO of a company and you're running a company, but the company is not really based on how much, you can't quantify it by dollars or whatever. It's more entertainment and what's funny and who's funny. Which is very subjective. And then if it's a subjective thing that you're doing, it's hard. I mean, he's done a good job at it, but for Lorne Michaels to be able to subjectively know who's funny in the current environment for that many years, you would think you'd age out. I mean, even cognitively, when you start hitting 60s and 70s, and just the way you grew up and like what you know to be funny and what the culture likes. It's changed so much. How can continue to be relevant?
He's still very much sharp. He is, and he's funny. He is sharp and he is funny. But you're right that like I remember when I first met him, he came and saw me in Chicago, and then the next night I went and saw him at the Ritz downtown where he was staying in Chicago. And so I'm sitting there, and I remember like I had an agent at the time, and she was like, "Do not get a drink, like do not." And then I get there, and I'm like so nervous, and then I don't order a drink, and then one of the producers was like, "We're paying for it, like whatever you want." Like, and so I was like, "I'll have a whiskey soda," and they were like, "And what kind of whiskey?" And I just said, "The crappiest kind you have."
Right.
And they were again like, "We're paying for it."
Did you think
no,
everything
the
was
best kind?
Did you think everything was a test at that point?
It is. But I remember sitting with him.
That's scary. That's what I'm talking about.
intimidating, man.
Shane, that's what I'm talking about. Is that like
It's a mind game.
Once you get in there, it's an inner circle-y, like it's like it's an escape room.
Oh, he
it's like
wants
that
to
though
sweat
for
you
any.
out though.
It's like that though on any set. It kind of is like that on.
It's
any
another level with Lorne though, because he wants to see you squirm a little bit. And I remember there was one point where he's asking me, like, it kind of reminded me, like you said, like to be out of touch or something. I was so nervous to talk to this man, and he's asking me these questions. And then eventually he's like, "And where in the city do you live?" And I'm like, "Oh, I just moved in with my girlfriend. Like, we have AC, like central AC now, so that's huge. The last 3 years I didn't have any AC." And he's like looking at me like, and I could see in that moment I had accidentally made him uncomfortable because he hasn't been like a human man in 50 years.
Yeah. He's like, people live without AC? Oh my God.
Yeah, well, and it's not
I
even
remember what pooping felt like.
And that's what I'm saying was the interesting part is because
that's
not
fascinating.
only he had no idea.
Yeah, like how can he relate? Yeah.
He literally couldn't. Another thing that I've told him this story before. It was like 2 or 3 in the morning. I'm there on like a Tuesday writing night, and he was still there. And so I'm in the elevator bay, and I'm leaving.
Yeah.
And he's leaving.
Yeah.
And I get in the elevator, and I hold the door because I'm like, "Are you going down?" And he goes, "I'm leaving up." So he's like taking
helicopter.
Taking like a helicopter.
Oh my God.
He wanted to just come there to make sure you went down.
And I'm just like,
oh yes, some people leave down.
oh yeah,
I know who leaves down.
That's crazy. And in the same regard, like you've got that on the comedy side. I can only imagine with Shane, with like anything Star Wars, I put on the same level of like Lorne Michaels to SNL is like Star Wars, Lucas. It's like, holy crap. Like, is that, as a little boy that loves Star Wars and being in Star Wars, how do you even remember it? Well, you don't black out, and then like you get there, and then you're talking to your fiance, and you're like, "Yeah, I did the thing," and she's like, "Tell me about it." And you're like, "I have no recollection."
You're like, I went full nude.
I have a funny story
like
about
meeting famous people. Sometimes I freak out, and then I'm like, Andrea's like, "Well," and I'm like,
Well, it was. I have a really funny story from the day, but that booking was, of everything that I've ever done, it floored me. Like, it absolutely floored me. And it's still...
You get to talk.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, like, so many people, celebrities, like Lance Bass was an extra in the Phantom Menace or something like that just to be in the Star Wars universe.
Right.
So to be...
He played Darth Maul.
I would pay almost my entire savings
to see Lance Bass play Darth Maul.
in the makeup. With
they might need a new one.
Dancer.
But no, so...
He'd probably be damn good. You're right. You take it seriously.
So I acknowledge, as a lifelong Star Wars fan, to be able to like be a stormtrooper and speak in that universe is surreal. It'll never not be. But the day I got to set, I've been in pressure cookers, like I've been in very like at a table read for Rock of Ages, and that was at that time that was the most like stressful, anxiety filled situation outside of my SNL audition. But getting to set for Star Wars, like, I was freaking out, obviously. And I was in the dressing room, and I brought with me, and this isn't a sponsor of our tour like Legoland is,
Legoland.
But...
and the snakes.
Legoland gives us the samples.
Free snakes. Free snakes forever.
No, but the Calm magnesium powder supplement
My
thing?
wife takes that.
Yeah.
So I brought that with me because I'm like, of any day, I'm like, I'll probably need this. So when I got in my dressing room, I started like, all right, I'm getting anxious. I need to take this stuff. And I looked around.
Had you ever taken it before?
Yeah, sure.
Because it makes you shotgun blast diarrhea.
Hold on. Write that down.
Why would you take that day?
Write that down.
My wife takes it every day, and she says it's her favorite part of her day.
I like this woman because I am pro diarrhea too.
The magnesium. Get you.
No. I've never had that experience with it, but I hope to.
Aggressive.
So I start
A boy can
panicking.
dream.
I start panicking. I'm looking for water to mix and have my calm moment.
Your calm drink.
My calm drink, and couldn't find water. So in that moment, I'm like, you know what? I'm a tough guy. I've seen wrestlers. I've seen bodybuilders just take protein powder.
Like Kratom?
You are a wrestler. Don't give me that crap. He's wrestled. This is Rip Malibu, folks. I mean,
baby. Malibu, baby.
You didn't know that was his name?
No.
That was my wrestling.
And he's got the physique, and he's
Not
got
as much anymore.
And
But thank
you will again. And at the time, he had. You know what you had that I loved? You know what you had that I
What's
loved?
that?
Absolutely. You had like the Sid curls.
The
Sid. What's his
Sid
name?
Vicious curls.
He had the Sid Vicious like the Malibu curls.
It looked like very different back then.
So good.
But so anyways, I was like, yeah, this is the good idea. I'm going to put a spoonful of it in my mouth and swish it around with my saliva and swallow it.
You're a wet man. You're a wet boy.
You still need water. So I started choking. And I was like, this is how I die before I even get to work on set.
Are you in a trailer or are you at
I'm
home?
in like a little dressing room on the set. And
For sure, if you died and they see the powder everywhere, they're like, "This guy is a cokehead."
Exactly, dude.
Then they test it. They're like,
Typical. Oh, man, I'm doing it again. Typical Floridian.
Exactly. Yeah. And so I ran to the sink, got it down. Anyways, still anxiety driven. I hop into the trailer to go to set with the other stormtrooper in the scene with me, and in hops Ewan McGregor.
Oh my God.
Full costume, full Obi-Wan. And turns around to us. The first thing he goes, "Hello there." And I'm just like, floored.
Kiss me.
I just take me.
What's that look like? I mean, like, describe you're sitting there, and are you in your stormtrooper gear?
We're not yet. So we're in takes 20 minutes per person to put on. 3 people are assembling it.
That is not cost effective.
But they had us. It was very secretive. So they had us in these big cloaks to take us to a secret set. Everything from getting the script, every part of the process was like a step. To get things emailed to us was through like a Lucasfilm server. Everything was so protected and secretive, even down to when I auditioned, which is standard for big projects like this, but I didn't know it was for Star Wars, but I kind of plugged the pieces in based on, this is the casting director, I think this is what she's casting next. I thought it was Star Wars, but I didn't know for sure until I booked it.
You'll be reading for white plastic robot man who can't shoot well.
Yeah, and also this armor it's going to take 20 minutes to put you in, it doesn't help you and survive. There's never been a laser that you would think that they would be like,
don't try to get shot.
Yeah,
for real.
It does not stop lasers.
And Ewan McGregor walks in and he sits down, and are you next to him? Are you like
in the scene?
Yeah. No, I mean, like, can you?
Oh, the trailer.
You
Yeah,
can just like touch him
right here to here,
and you're not freaking. Is your heart
racing? I spent
racing?
3 days with him and just hung out with him for 3 days. But dressed
like
as Obi-Wan the whole time, so just geeking out, but like
crazy.
This is
such
tangent,
a nice
though.
dude.
I'm just thinking of, because I grew up being named Luke, so of course I was obsessed with Star Wars.
There you go.
But at what point in like future technology were they like, all right, our guns now shoot lasers, they have swords that block lasers? Like, at what point were they like, bullets aren't doing the job? Like a bullet is. It's so fast you don't see it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Where I'm like, I can see these lasers shooting out that give these guys enough time to block them.
Yeah.
When was bullets not good enough to shoot these guys?
You know what? I never thought about that. That's good.
Everything goes full circle.
Why are bullets obsolete in the Star Wars?
Somebody
universe?
knows.
Or also make the lasers invisible.
We're kind of keying them in. Yeah.
Like when you're setting it, they're like, "Hey, let's not make these blue or red."
Bright red. Yeah.
Also, it's like,
it seems like they know how to block these.
It would also be dangerous too if you picked up your blue gun's out. You pick up a red gun. They're going to think
you're a bad guy.
Right? You got to be careful with that.
Also, just make it a long, continuous laser, and I'll just swat around and chop you up like the goddamn
Well, then it's
sword.
a never-ending sword.
Okay,
That's a good title too. Write that down.
The never-ending sword.
This is what I would be terrified about if I was
Wait a
in your
minute.
situation.
You're not terrified of anything.
Yes, I am. Of awkward situations and failing.
Yeah.
So I put.
He's pretty brave. I'm the awkward situation guy.
So I could put myself in Shane's shoes, where I've worked 20 years to get to this point, and now I'm on the set of Star Wars.
That's what I've always wanted.
They took 20 minutes to put on my stormtrooper outfit, and then I'm getting ready. I'm in line to get up to I'm driving.
I
with
took
the
my
cloak.
magnesium diarrhea powder.
I've blasted everything out.
But then, as we're driving with the cloak and we're going to the location, and I know, like, hey, this is going to be a grueling, long scene or whatever. I'm gonna have to be on set for a while. I start having to pee a little bit, or I feel the urge, and I'm like, I shouldn't have drank that second Diet Coke this morning.
Yep.
And then
He drinks 9 a day.
And then I can imagine myself on set in the stormtrooper outfit,
Like
and
peeing your stormtrooper outfit?
not wanting to be like, I'm sorry, I
gotta take the whole thing off.
because everybody would be like, amateur, or like this guy,
Idiot.
So then
You're not a stormtrooper.
Either I let my bladder explode, or I just go into my suit.
Well, what also sucks is
you go in the suit.
The part of the process with me almost dying from the comm challenge that I did, my throat was on fire. So I was like, I need water all day. So I did have to pee all day. And there was that moment of like, God dang it, I got to ask somebody to disassemble my crotch.
Are diapers not an option?
I mean, they should just make it so that front angle piece just.
It's kind of like that, but
exposed and hanging.
Yeah, just shoot it for the waist up and no pants.
Yeah.
We got to be safe.
I remember when I was auditioning for SNL being so nervous because they keep you there like all day long. Like you're there for like 6, 7, 8 hours, like just like pacing in like a little dressing room. And I remembered like after a minute I started to count how many times I was having to pee, and I remember like before I went up for my audition, I think I peed 11 times.
That's those nervous pees.
It's just nervous pees.
And then your mouth is dry. You're chugging water.
And it's to the point where you're peeing, and it's like it's just. Like that's what's coming out.
How do they tell you that like you made it onto SNL? Like, does it come?
It's like a gender reveal, I think.
Well,
your story,
pop a balloon.
Your phone call story is pretty cool.
They call like they definitely don't tell you right away. So you definitely leave New York being like, well, that was fun, but
it'll never happen. Right.
Every step along the process, because they make you jump through a lot of hoops. Like every step along the process, when I'm just like. Crazy that it got that far. You know what I mean? Even like being there a year, I was like, crazy that I was even there a year, which is true. But I was working for like a tech startup in Chicago, and they called me at like 4:45 on a Friday, and they're like, it's Lauren. It's like a person.
He called you directly?
No, a person is like, and you're on with Lauren.
Oh, they patch you through.
And so I stand up and run to the conference room, and he's like, we're looking forward to having you, and just so you know, if anyone finds out about this, we'll know it came directly from you. You are the only one. He was basically like, in Chicago, he's like, there are ways that people find out about who made it in New York and LA, but he's like, if someone finds out that you specifically have gotten on the show, we know 100% it's from you.
And all you want to do, all you want to do in that moment is tell everyone.
But I remember like leaving and putting in my 15 minutes notice for my job, where like I have to be living in New York on Monday. You know what I mean?
And to kind of tag team on your story a little bit, like with Star Wars, I had to be quiet for a year.
Right.
That was the hardest I have ever. And that's very common now with Marvel projects, with everything. It's these sweet and sometimes longer. Like you think about Avatar. Think about somebody that they've shot those movies back to back. There's somebody that's probably not even in a movie until 2026 that can't reveal it, talk about it, or use it to leverage their career until like 3-4 years from now.
Oh, sorry, my apple pie is done.
And I mean, do you trust anybody? I mean, you tell your fiance.
I told very few people, but it was my parents and my fiance.
Did you guys see the Avatar, the new Avatar?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
I went and watched it last week in the theaters, and I tell you what, there was a moment there where I'm watching it. I'm like, man, I'm having such a great time watching this IMAX 3D. But then there was a moment where I had to, in my own brain, accept that I was like, there's a situation where I would definitely have sex with an 8-foot-tall cat demon. I was like, I need to admit that they've mastered the technology to where I'm like, I'm attracted to them.
This is the thing for me. Like, I'm a little guy, and I love tall women. My wife's like 5'8", or maybe she's like 5'7", but I like them really, really tall. So when I saw this, when the first one came out, I remember you did that Halloween contest downtown, and that girl came in the thing.
And it activated
something?
But she
was short. No, she was short. So when I saw her, I was like, that's a great costume, but nothing's happening because you're not
accurate.
You gotta be.
I'm not even.
Yeah, you gotta shoot for the moon on this, man.
Also, there's a tail involved.
Oh yeah, there's a tail.
You're like, I don't know.
It's your USB. How do you like
tail?
Okay,
this is messing me up, and you guys will know what I mean. So the tails, like, it looks like on the end of the tails, and you won't be mad at me. The tails, it looks like they're fuzzy, or they have like fibers, and the fibers intertwine, right, to have sex. But the fibers look exactly like the fibers that come out of the mouths on The Last of Us.
Yeah, that's true.
So when I look at The Last of Us, I think that it's an Avatar tail.
Get a little worked up.
I do get a little.
That's how they patch in.
I do. Yeah. I do.
So when not to keep going back, but what made you guys decide like, hey, let's go on tour together, let's work together? Was it just a natural chemistry? And we could do this.
Yeah.
easily?
So during COVID, we were, as everybody, like we were deep into it, going a little stir crazy, and we got the idea. Let's start shooting sketches, but from a distance in a park. So like, let's do what we can safely. And I had never met him before. We had just been talking on socials. But, obviously, big fan of anybody that's been able to achieve that greatness.
You guys met on the web.
On the World Wide
cool,
Web.
We met during COVID on socials, and I was just like, at some point, let's shoot something.
Yep.
Like, let's make something.
And so I gave him a free promo code to my OnlyFans.
And a sample.
Showed it
he
some
loves
news.
his samples. But I could tell, and I don't want to speak on your behalf, but I could tell immediately we had like a chemistry, like a comedic chemistry.
Nice. For me, it took longer.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
No,
still doesn't
feel it.
hear that. Tom and I are like that too. For me, it was immediate.
Tom still doesn't feel it.
Tom's getting there.
Yeah, he hates me. Every morning I come in and I go, "You hate me, don't you?" And he's like,
"It's fine."
He's like, Then he does.
That's how he loves.
Yeah.
That's how he loves.
He kind of does the Lorne Michaels. If you tell anybody, we'll know it comes directly from you.
We'll kill you.
I'm going up.
Yeah. Sam wants you to do a song. Can you do a song? Can you guys do
Well,
a
he
song?
brought the guitar.
Yeah, let's do it.
brought it all the way
We're
out
the
here.
Tangent Show.
So
let's do everything. It doesn't matter. There's no rules here. We own this.
So SNL didn't really utilize
brought my
your
Stormtrooper
musical
costume.
abilities.
Did you really?
No.
Oh my God, let's pee in it.
SNL was a hard pass on. Like what was weird is
They saw you do that.
They
and they're
literally
like,
came and saw me, pick me up, pluck me out of my life, and made me move to where they are. Presumably to do the thing that they saw me do. And then when I got there, I was like, "You want me to do the thing you saw me do?" And they're like, "No, never."
Yeah, smash your guitar.
I'm like, "Oh, that's very cool." Oh yeah, you gotta one ear it. That way you can hear yourself. Ooh yeah.
There we go. We're gonna do music.
What's nice about some songs is that Lauren always likes when you do long intros, without any words. Little bluesy. And you got to give it a little.
I like that.
This is a true story. I'm bleeding bad, I'll be dying soon. But there is something that you must do for me. Before I rest in peace.
Yeah.
There's porn on my computer that I'm really needing you to delete. There's porn on my computer and I don't want my dad and my girlfriend to know I like feet. Got pics of bunions and calluses too. Videos of old guys humping shoes, it's a handful. My screensaver's a sandal. There's porn on my computer, I'm really needing you to delete. Whoa, now there's porn on my computer and I don't want my dad and my girlfriend, my nieces and nephews, my brothers and sisters to know I like feet.
Yeah.
Short and sweet. Shorty but a good.
I'm starting to notice a theme with Luke here.
Luke is an
What kind of
animal.
theme, Tom?
Spicy.
Luke is a spicy animal. Like me. I'm sorry.
I
Sam.
love my wife's feet.
When you guys,
Yeah, they were a hard pass on all that kind of stuff.
I like this. I'm a big fan, and I think it's very, very hard. I like seeing people break out the guitar. I like seeing it when you don't realize that they do it. And I've seen Bob Saget. You're like, well,
Saget can-
R.I.P.
RP.
But like people, oh, I didn't know you did that. That's another, I guess, arrow in the quiver.
what's the easiest way to get tickets for the Laugh Out Lounge tomorrow?
FirstComedyShow.com. We're the first ones to do it.
Yeah, we thought, do shows and put them together in sequence. We should do a tour. FirstComedyShow.com.
Is that the FIRST or
It's FIRST.
Yeah,
we somehow nailed the URL FirstComedyShow.
Well, I was thinking one ST. You don't want to be that one. Like I don't even know if you can do that as a web URL.
Legally, you can't.
How many other stops you got? I know you said Side Splitters.
Side Splitters, Wesley Chapel. So this is like a soft open.
This is a soft launch. We're gonna be lining up a lot more, but we decided to come out and dip our wick in Florida and see what it's all about. We tried the pizza down here that you guys eat.
Yeah, Florida pizza, man.
I never heard of it before, but pizza is down here. They
Hold
got.
on, there's a thing about Florida pizza.
I just never heard of the word pizza.
this is a
Keep up, Tom.
Yeah, sorry, cut that out.
No.
No, leave that in.
And then when you guys you're like, hey, let's do a show, let's do a tour. How did you work out what it was going to be? Because when you sit
That's
down,
true.
you're like,
That's
okay,
hard, man.
well, what is
Hopefully a lot like Steve-O and Bam's tour, which I hear is going so well.
So
We knew that was going to happen, right?
What?
I've missed.
I know. I don't want to tell you because I know you know them.
I mean, I'm a bit.
You know them.
I know the Margera's, but Bam, what happened?
He went on a bender.
So Steve-O took him on tour, and then I guess 3 to 5 nights into the tour, he was spending some time. Even his son was there. His kid was there.
Oh, it's already derailed.
Oh, yeah.
No, he went on. After he left the show, I think it was like 2 nights ago or last night.
A couple nights ago.
He left the show and he went crazy drinking and drugging, and then he posted his normal Jeff Tremaine's an idiot and he's stealing all the money.
Going on rants.
And Johnny Knoxville is the worst person and F him. And
Steve-O says, I cannot help you.
And Steve-O's like, okay, we're out.
I tried.
Oh, yeah, it happened.
Man, it breaks my heart because
I blame Steve-O.
I blame Steve-O.
I should have known. I knew.
Here's what
How
I would
did
say.
he not know?
Here's what I would say is that I don't think you tried hard enough.
I so badly, real talk, want Bam to have a redemption story.
Right?
I want, if Steve-O can do it, if
Steve-O was the worst,
he has
right?
to want to do it.
He was the worst.
Yeah.
If
The problem is
Novak,
Steve-O is a humble dude, and Bam is not. And he doesn't take accountability.
Well, you have to, if you want to do it.
You can't keep blaming everybody else for your
that's
problems.
it,
When your
man.
addiction is that bad, you have to look at everybody around you, and then you have to take it out of your hands and say, I can't do this.
Right.
And to disarm yourself like that is something that a lot of people can't do.
I saw him in an interview the other day with his whole family, and he still is putting the blame on everything, on everyone else. Well, they gave me pills for this, which made me start doing this, and then I took pills for this. But even his mom was like, but what was the cause of it in the first place?
Right.
And that's what breaks my heart.
Steve-O, we know that.
We still blame
until he realize. We know it's until he realizes the true core of everything. It's gonna keep continuing to be this revolving cycle. But it breaks my heart because Bam was a huge inspiration of mine.
Absolutely,
and I want him to have a redemption. If Steve-O can do it, if Novak can do it, why can't Bam? And I think that what's sad is because in that interview he said something. He's like, they started mentioning some young skateboarders or something, and he's like, God, if I could just be 20 again. And I think that
stuck.
For anybody that wrestlers, athletes, skateboarders, when they get older, you're bound to go through that moment of I can't do what I used to do, but Bam.
But I'm as good once as I ever. Toby Keith, what's that?
Still got it.
I am trying to be the Bam in our comedy tour. I want to make it.
You already are, dude.
I knew. The samples. This guy's got it.
Yeah. Long story short, I want Bam to make a comeback.
I do too.
It's hard to watch someone continue to do that over and over, and it's man, you all of a sudden, and because now
I make
we're all
jokes about it
on,
because I honestly hate it so much. Right? It's so uncomfortable.
It
I'll
sucks,
instantly make a joke about it.
I'm with you.
Sucks.
Now, but what's good for everybody to see is that he is not immune to it, just like everybody, because everybody has someone like this or knows someone like this.
It caught
in their
up
life
with them.
Where you see an addict that cannot get it,
Can't get it together.
Every chance,
I will say,
you think they're going to do it this time. You're like, oh, he's on tour with Steve-O. Steve-O's having him under his
He'll
wing.
do it. He'll do it.
He's getting him. He's showing them look, it's possible. I'm selling at theaters. You can do this too. You just have to put together a show. I'm watching TikTok, and then
you knew it was happening.
But I'm looking in Bam's eyes, and I'm like, man, it's just
sunglasses. You couldn't see him.
He's kind of stunted though. He's stuck in that same Viva La Bam mindset.
16. He's still 16.
It's kind of sad when you see someone not grow up.
But you know what's good? Though, I will give him a compliment. The heartogram on his pube area, it held up.
Still looks
I saw it. I saw it peeking.
You're right.
I saw the heartogram peeking out of his hands, and I'm like, you know what? That's some goddamn good line work. I mean, I never thought to get my tattoos in my pubic areas, but if I'd gotten my tattoos in my pubic area, they'd probably have held up better, right?
Well, we may be thrown off the radio for airing this.
Worth it.
I mean, I'll blame Sam.
I'm going to blame Steve-O. I'm blaming Steve-O for everything.
I blame Steve-O for me saying sample so much.
Yeah. She's right there. Sam Pulse.
I blame Steve-O for making me get a full-length bat tattoo of Tim Tebow.
All I know is
that's awesome.
It's everybody else's fault.
All I know is I am not
Always. And if you're to blame, like we know you are, you should go see these guys at
Laugh Out Lounge in Winter Haven on Saturday. Side Splitters. And where can people find your whole tour? Just online.
First
Comedy Show.
Okay.
FirstComedyShow.com.
Yeah.
I love that you guys got that.
Or you could follow either one of us too.
Do that.
Yeah, follow
us on socials.
Shane Hartline. We're on there.
Guys,
we pop up when you search us. I think.
Anytime you're in town, come by.
Please, Shane,
Thank you so
we
much,
love
guys.
you because you're part of our family.
Love
Luke,
you, dude.
Glad to pull you into the family.
Next time I'm driving a car directly through the wall.
I've been waiting for that to happen.
It's gonna get Sam first. And then,
I can
Sam, I
jump.
apologize for.
If as soon as I see, I'll jump
Tom
out.
thinks he's going to save me from everything.
Now I know the layout.
No, I'm jumping out the
he just said
window.
that's because he thinks eventually he's gonna sleep with you.
No, I just can save.
He has to buy me dinner first.
Anyway,
I'm just making
Luke
things
knows.
real.
Me and Luke, we see eye to
Yeah,
eye.
you guys are sample crazy.
Yeah, he's been emailing me a lot.
All right, bye-bye.